Welcome. We are Grown A Geeks. This is Weigh In Wednesday. You are awesome. Haven't had a live show in a little bit. Got some cool stuff to talk about tonight. I'm trying to decide what all we wanted to discuss, what show we wanted to do. We decided to talk about it all. So we're going to do a live show with random topics. I have to figure out where the sequential audio is coming. I'll get that figured out here in a moment. Joining me tonight on the show, Weekly Watch Group, Cashmere the Pro, the Urban Dalai Lama. What's going on, man?
Another beautiful day in the neighborhood. Glad to be around you wonderful people. Ready for some wonderful conversation. Yes.
Wonderful. Insert cool nickname, Miss Brandy. How you doing today?
Hey, how are you guys? How's everybody tonight?
Doing well. Let's see. Rounding it out, we have about to make a name for myself, Miss Teresa. What's going on, Teresa?
Hanging in there.
She's trolling me.
I know, I'm not. It was a coincidence.
It's the beginning of me and Teresa's beef arc.
And joining me, as always, Jeffrey, JPNT17.com. What's up, man?
What's up, guys?
Let's see. So we are up on all screens. We have the YouTube going. We've got, let me go ahead and put it out here now. Andrew, what's going on, man? How's everything doing? We're doing good tonight.
Nice.
How's everybody else doing?
Nice. Welcome, Andrew.
Andrew, do me a favor. Put it in the chat the name of the name of your channel and the Facebook group you all have. I jump into a lot of their live shows. They do a lot of live chat discussions. I enjoy those discussions about as much as I enjoy our own. So shout out to him. And once he puts it up, we'll be sure to share where you can find Andrew and crew. There it is. They are Geek News Now Official. Geek News Now Official. So be sure to check them out on YouTube, friends of the channel. We are enjoying watching that. I enjoy watching that. I encourage you all to watch it as well. But man, we had a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of stuff happening. Hope you saw our intro there, our opening. Shout out to the Jones family, James Earl Jones, the recently announced passing of James Earl Jones. We'll definitely be discussing that. And I think it's kind of interesting. Everything I've seen online has been just a lot of conversation. It's like people act like there were only two roles, Mufasa and the voice of Darth Vader. Like, the man was a phenomenal actor, did tons of movies, and it was more than just that. And we will get into that. We will absolutely get into that. So we'll be touching on that. We've also had some conversations amongst ourselves as we were trying to decide, like I said, we were trying to figure out what we were going to talk about, what our topics were going to be. And Jeff had a lot of different things that he was wanting to discuss and bring up. And we were trying to decide, like, you know what, we'll just talk about all of them. We'll just talk about all of them. And as we go through, we'll pick those up. We're going to start off with Miss Teresa, who recently got to attend Dragon Con, and she went in full cosplay. I saw she had Louise, correct? She had Louise from Bob's Burgers. Mm-hmm. I saw Blind Al.
Mm-hmm.
And, do you not have those loaded up? We need pics or it didn't happen.
You know what?
So it didn't happen. Can you load that up and share with the audience, please?
Work on finding that.
You know?
I will work on getting that available. What's going on?
Hey, good evening.
And I'll get that found and pulled up. I'm sure we can make that.
Anyway.
Yes, why you tell a story about your adventures.
So it was Louise Belcher on Thursday. This, of course, was starts on Thursday.
Okay.
So it was Louise Belcher on Thursday. Gosh, who was it on Friday? Oh,
Black Panther lady.
Queen Mother from Wakanda
Yeah.
Forever on
Okay.
Friday. Saturday, I called it my obnoxious UGA fan cosplay because the game was on Saturday, and so that gave me an excuse to wear my red and black. And then Sunday, I did two because there were two photo shoots that I wanted to participate in. The first was the United Earth president from Star Trek Discovery, and that, of course, was the role played by Stacey Abrams. And then I switched over into my Blind Owl cosplay. So, and then
Nice.
Monday, I cosplayed as a tired con participant because that's what I was.
Seems
Well, you
accurate.
killed it.
Seems accurate.
You killed it. You killed it. We
For real.
Thank you very much.
have to applaud you.
Let's
Well
see.
done.
You look like you had a ball.
I really did. I really did. And that's probably, I enjoyed my immune system down because I ended up with what we affectionately like to call con crud. But this time it was actual crud. It was COVID.
So that's
That's
the
terrible.
Louise, and there's her
Aw.
Louise. Her Louise Belcher there. That was a
I love the ears.
I know, I did too.
That's such a commitment.
accuracy.
Did you have to
Nice
make those?
commitment.
No, that's I ordered them. I just ordered them. So they have them as part of a costume, like Halloween costume.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I didn't know if you had to go to like Etsy or have them made.
I actually ordered them.
Sam, what are we doing in these love boat bubbles?
Love
I'm
bubbles.
trying to ignore it.
There
I
was,
don't know, maybe if y'all talked before I got on, but
We
and
did.
honestly, when I loaded up
thrown
today,
off.
an update
I just missed
available. There was an update
Okay.
available, so grab the update. And
Okay, here we
it's a
go.
new option.
I'll be earlier next time. I apologize.
No.
Yeah, my Wakanda Forever was a little zealous.
I mean, but you've got the accuracy. If I can make
Okay.
this, let's see. Maybe we can blow it up a little bit.
No, the incense man was on you that day.
Yeah.
That was like my sister,
Grand Rising
I
Queen.
know you want this
Grand
one.
Rising Queen.
For sure. You got plenty of those.
Take a look at my aromatics.
And let's see. There's
Red Rising is crazy.
Ooh.
All
like a
natural
garnish
queen.
stick. You don't need to brush
Everything
your
from
teeth
the
with
earth, queen.
toothpaste. Have this garnish stick. You can brush your teeth with this.
All natural fragrances, sister.
Yeah, I saw that one too. I like that one.
That is sharp. That
Yeah.
is sharp.
Yeah, that dress is hard.
And my
Star
friend,
Trek, one of the
my friend-
underrated costume shows. Sorry, go ahead.
my friend who is an excellent seamstress, she made that just from pictures off of Google.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
fire.
Yeah,
For
it is.
real.
It's
That's nice.
it's like
Oh,
it's like a very simple design, but it's executed very well.
very
yeah.
well.
That's the kind of design that can look wonky very easily because it's got to
Yeah.
be so symmetrical. So
She
you can
made
tell
it.
she took
She
her
did a great
time.
job.
yeah.
She pressed them
Absolutely.
seams.
She did.
All my
Right.
sewers
Here was
know
the
it.
I was
one
like
that-
thinking, like, you might could wear that. Just wear it. Like,
Yeah,
This was one of the most impressive because
Yes.
it's like that's almost not even Teresa there. I'm like, that is Blind Owl.
was you cussing people out?
No.
yeah, that one too.
Did you get you any cocaine?
Yeah, I was
know
gonna say,
I'm
was you hitting in the bathroom?
We'd have to go through all of the. Did you build a snowman? Is the question.
Yeah.
Funny
How
story.
method were you?
Well, my fellow cosplayers wanted to help me out on that one. And, as we were coming down from the photo shoot, one of the Deadpools stops me with a little plastic bag and goes, "You dropped this."
Oh,
Nah, that was a cop. I was an undercover cop.
nice.
Trying to get you caught up.
See, those are the interactions. That's the stuff
Yes.
right
I
there.
Do
didn't
it
come
for it.
prepared. I left prepared.
Let's see, and the last one, you got to do the Wakanda photo shoot, right?
Right.
For that one.
Yes.
Got to be
I
part of
saw
that
that
Wakanda
one.
photo shoot. And there was another one. I'm looking for there it is. This was the UGA fan. Now, explain this part because this is something that I saw a few people do this, and if it won't load. My computer's freaking out right now because so much is happening. It's like, what do you want me to do? All of it. Do it all.
Do it all. And now,
That's when the machines revolt. These are the moments.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. You remember you wanted me to do this, that, and the other? Okay. So
You
this
pushed
is
me
your
beyond capacity,
UGA.
Sam.
Now, explain the badges. What's happening with the badges?
So, I mean, I can only speak for Dragon Con because it's the only con I've been to. But at Dragon Con, the ribbons are very big. And so, of course, you just start off with the little badge, the little rectangle of plastic.
Mhm.
But one of the goals throughout the course of Dragon Con is to collect as many ribbons as you can.
Okay.
Mm.
And, they attach one to another. And there are contests on the last day of people like unfurling their ribbon streamer or whatever to see, who had the most ribbons. People hand them out
Wait,
when
so
you're
who?
just walking around. People leave them like on swag tables and you can just pick them up. They give them away in panels.
okay,
And they
that
have,
was my next question.
yeah, they have ribbon exchanges as well.
Mm.
So, you can get them from all kinds of places. And
I'm gonna
that,
go next year as Stevie Wonder. Just hand out a bunch of ribbons. I'm gonna throw them in the air
Make it rain.
so they're in the
Not for
sky.
your love. Not for your
so
love. No.
Okay,
No.
never mind. I'm gonna get on the building and throw them off. They're gonna be like, there were a bunch of ribbons in the sky.
Ribbons in the sky. Yes.
got
Wow.
it,
Okay.
got
Okay.
it.
I'm gonna give him that one. I saw the
Dun,
setup.
dun.
Right.
JP NC17 people, he's here all week. Don't forget to tip the waitress.
So the sounds like you had a great time at the con. Did you get to enjoy the parade?
I actually this is the first time I have been to the whole Dragon Con. I have been in the past on like one day. Yes, I knew I liked you, Anthony. Go Dogs. But this is the first time I've been to the full con, and I volunteered. So when you volunteer, you spend however many hours you need to fulfill your volunteer duties, but you basically get a 5-day pass for free. So,
Mm.
What?
if you're not working, you can enjoy the con. And I forgot what your question was. Did I get to?
The parade.
I don't know. I'm still delirious. So yeah, I did enjoy the whole con. And my cosplays were built around the photo shoots that I wanted to participate in. So, they have a whole
They tell you
slate.
ahead of time?
You I don't know if it was me or you, but you froze. What was your question?
Oh, I said they tell you ahead of time, like what photo shoots are going to be for when or whatever, like
Yeah,
whatever characters or.
there's an app. There's a Dragon Con app, and they released the
Okay.
app like a few days before the con, and it has the full schedule of everything that's gonna go on, including all of the photo shoots. So
So
I
they'll be
went
like all the
through.
Deadpools or all the Batmans,
Right,
like
right.
that.
So
Okay.
yeah, there's
Okay.
a DC photo shoot or there's a Marvel photo shoot, and of course the Marvel one is so large that they have a separate Ladies of Marvel
Yeah.
Okay.
photo
Yeah.
shoot.
Okay.
Yeah,
Of
keep
course,
them pervs out of there.
Deadpool and Wolverine was so big they had a separate photo shoot.
Yeah.
I did the Star Trek, the Deadpools, the Wakanda United one. and what was the other one? I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, I'm glad you got to enjoy Comic-Con.
Yes,
For
I
Dragon-
was living vicariously through your pictures.
as was I.
I was like, I'll do a podcast with her.
You know, and
Yes,
what's crazy is I've
I
actually had a
I
little bit
got
of
cool friends.
All right, yeah, you got me some clout.
yeah, I've had a little bit of free time, and it happened that the way scheduling and everything worked out, I was not originally going to have the con weekend off, and then unexpectedly, I've had about 3 weeks off, and so as I did not make preparation to go, I was like, well, hey, maybe we can still get up and go for the parade, and it just didn't work out for me to make it down there for the parade. But you posted it, and I was able to catch it through you streaming it, other people having it up, and things. So I got to enjoy through those of you who went. I thank you for sharing. And if anybody has any other pictures from their Dragon Con, be sure to drop them in the Facebook group, Grown A Geeks. We would love to see it. We can create a whole gallery. Normally, I would have my own gallery from the pictures I would take, but as I did not make it this year, wasn't able to create said gallery. But click that QR code there. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And you can join our Facebook group. Find us on all the social medias and everywhere we are. And we would appreciate having you there.
Hey, Sam, I think it's a really good segue that you brought up all about pictures and everything like that. Can I take a moment to just show off something real quick I'm kind of proud of? Hold on.
By all means. I think I know what he's going to show.
So I just want to show off the artwork, how talented the people in my podcast are. This is done by Jeff. And I mean, he absolutely, hold on, let me turn this light off real quick. So hopefully you get a better view. That was actually worse. He absolutely murdered this Nightcrawler right here.
Nightcrawler, yeah.
Yes, absolutely murdered it.
That.
So just want to, give kudos before we go further. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate that.
Put it back in its proper place.
I know that one was on the stories. Is it in the gallery also?
Nah, I put it on my Twitter though.
I like that wall color of his.
That is nice.
Let's say, because I remember seeing that one multiple. Let me see if I can. Just so everybody
I like your wall color behind you, RG.
Thank you. So I can't remember what it was. I think I seen it, but I seen it in a lot of pictures of game rooms, and when people do the game rooms, they look like this color, and I kind of liked it. I seen it in a room. Somebody I know had this color in their room, and thank you.
It's like dark, but not too dark. You can still see like it's a really pretty teal or blue or something in it. That's nice. It's a nice color.
Thank you.
And okay, boom, there it is. Let's move that one here.
Hello, folks. This is called Dead Space.
No. We're just one day I'm gonna have a whole producer to come and
part of live shows.
Take care of this. But here's the image. I want everybody to see just how fantastic this image actually is.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Wow. Yes.
Like I don't want to take anything away from how magnificent this is. And everybody, I know I've talked many times about my exclusive shirt. My exclusive Spider-Punk shirt. Until somebody else has one, I'm gonna keep saying it's exclusive. Let me get off of Twitter real quick. Because that's Twitter. And I'm not Twitter be tweeting, so let's just come out of that. But yeah, like it is amazing. So if you get time, I would say, and this is not just to hype my man up, but I would definitely say check out jpnt17.com. Go through the gallery, find you something. It's some impressive stuff out there, and he's got some really good stuff. And I've actually been to one of his art shows. And there's
speaking of,
I was gonna say there's another one.
We have another our new art show is coming up. First weekend in October. So actually, let me find the link for that. I may as well just put it up. It's posted on my Instagram.
This whole time you've just been creating
jpnt17.com.
a whole art show.
Yeah, me and
spare
three
time.
other guys. We have just like kind of a little art collective
on the weekends.
And yeah, no, low key. Like that's literally what I've been doing.
That's light work.
All right.
So yeah, it's gonna be in Atlanta,
so cool.
And you know, all the artwork will be available for purchase as well.
Do you got an ad? You got to add? Do we got to pick like an ad?
I just dropped the Instagram in the chat.
All right, that's what's up.
Put up, but yeah, I got a poster.
Can we turn that into a short? Like, can we get a whatever? You know, we need content, man. Shit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Instagram don't be liking to cooperate, but I'll post what's available here, so we can have it. And honestly, I would say if you want to put that link in the chat,
yeah, I'll do that.
That way others who watch can take a peek and see it as well. But here is
in the chat.
There we go. And a visual exploration of the groove.
The groove, that's cool.
Studio House Atlanta, 75 John Wesley Dobbs Avenue, Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia, 30303. That will be October 4th through the 2nd. Excuse me, 4th through the 6th. 4th through the 6th, 2024. And the collective is they're back at it again. So be sure to check that out. And the one I went to was the Spike Lee.
Yeah.
What was the theme on that one?
That's what it was. It was called the Triple Truth Ruth. It was all artwork inspired by Spike Lee movies. So yeah, we all picked different movies and scenes and just created a bunch of pieces based on that. I actually just added all that work to my website. So, you know, I've done my bi-yearly update, even though I should be updating every month. So I just added a bunch of new art and sketches and all that stuff on my website, which is jpnt17.com, as you can see right there. So check it out. I'm a bad salesman.
Most artists are.
I will say all the hype. Definitely go check it out. It's yourself and other artists are there as well, correct?
Yeah, it's me and 3 other artists, Thornton Brown the 4th, Fabian, and Zach Brown. Oh, Fabian Brown as well. So, yeah, we're just 4 dudes. We make art, and we're putting on the show. And, you know, it is what it is. We just
go enjoy
4 black men expressing ourselves through visual medium and communication.
See, there's the sales pitch right there. There it is. See, you got it.
I feel so corny doing that shit. I used to have to go do that shit in front of Marvel and Disney and Walmart and Target, and like the Negro you see before me is not what I laid at the feet of corporate America. I'll put it that way.
Right.
Different presentation.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. Capitalism rules. If you have a talent and you deserve to get what you gotta get, you gotta play the game sometimes.
Absolutely.
Hey man, I found me a girl that likes to live a certain way. Can't dip below that, brother.
There you go. You gotta make sacrifices.
Choices is made. Nobody ever tried me, but you know.
You got the nerve to be charging for tickets. I'm gonna have to carve out some budget for that.
Yeah, that was
it's worth it. It's worth it. Art shows in Atlanta are enjoyable.
Oh yeah.
I'm DJing. I'm doing the DJ set. I don't know which night.
Oh really?
I might do one every night, and then one of the days is gonna be an artist talk. So we're gonna be putting out more materials, just like laying out what each day is. We do have a drink sponsor, so that is part of the reason why you know. So
be there.
You come through, you get that drink ticket. You know what I'm saying? Have a good time.
Sure, I'll be there. You know what? You just got 2 people because the wife will come too now.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be no like stuffy like art like what they be trying to show you in like movies and shit. This is not
No,
Pretty
it
Woman.
was real laid
It's
back.
just
We
gonna be
enjoyed
cool,
ourselves.
chill, kickback. It's not no like we trying to be seen. Like it's not none of that. It's gonna be some art people there. We're gonna be trying to sell pictures. We're gonna be just trying to get our name out there and, expose our friends and our family to what we do. I think that's the hard part sometimes when you're an artist, people just be like, so what do you do? And it's like, all right, like here's what I do presented in a medium that you like understand.
Mm, mm. There you go. I draw very good.
Right.
Nice.
And people pay me to do it because most people can't draw very good.
Right.
It's a rare talent. It's a very rare talent. So
I mean, it's just a
you
lot of
gotta respect
patience.
it.
That's what I tell people. People don't
That,
believe me when I say it,
oh
but
yeah,
it is.
Sometimes I can make a mean stick figure.
there you go.
But that's the
That's a
thing.
I
But
was
talent,
see,
able
my
to
no,
man.
draw.
That's a
no,
I had
talent.
the
You
that's
books.
the
may have
thing.
exercise
I tried to
patience to
draw
hone your
books, all of
natural
this. I
talent, but
wanted to be able to draw so badly, and it just
Let,
is
let,
not
let me let
my
me explain.
forte.
The
mhm.
stick figure is the basis of all human drawing. So if you
True.
can draw stick figures, you can draw people. You just have to one. The rendering requires patience, but everybody has what they're bad at. I'm good at when rendering. I'm bad at proportions because my stick figures feel stiff sometimes. Like that's why that Nightcrawler one I think sticks out versus some of the other ones because he's not stiff there. That feels like
No, there's a lot
it
of
feels like
movement.
he's flying out of that cloud.
Yeah, there's
And
Yeah.
movement in
so
that picture.
when you get it right, you get it right. But I post a lot of other stuff that people don't buy, and it just sits over there, and it's like it is what it's it's a it's an unattainable brass ring,
Yeah. I mean, but it
like
is when
the
you're an artist
perfection of
though,
it.
it's yeah, when you're an artist, it can't be about pleasing everybody. If you
Right.
like what you
Yeah,
did, then in the end run,
It's
it's
work.
okay. If you like it, cool. If you don't like it, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially you're
I
doing
hear.
something
Oh,
that like 95%
Nice.
of the
Oh,
population
well, let him
cannot do.
know,
There
Anthony.
no,
is
no, no,
never
no, no.
a
Okay,
point.
okay.
There's never a
This
point
is
where
the
I can.
this here's the thing. Okay, first of all, I think we are doing in this conversation what a lot of people do, which is conflating drawing and artistry. Drawing is a skill, which means it can
Right.
be taught and it can be learned through like a series of being taught in that way. Drawing used to be a required skill in a lot of different professions, and so it was something that was taught. If you wanted to be a scientist, you didn't have a camera to take a picture of this bug. So if you can't draw this bug, nobody's gonna believe. And if you go back and look at like some of the science books from back in the day
Yeah.
before
It's like
there
Right,
were
they drew.
painting
cameras,
Yeah,
it.
right,
these
true, true.
these
Yeah.
images are detailed and they're drawing detailed images of like animals that you can't really get that close to as well.
True.
So I always say like when it comes to just the skill of drawing, like that can be taught, and there's like literally classes where like even people who have the gift of artistry have to learn
Uh-huh.
how to draw. And you might not, and I think because we conflate the two sometimes, people don't look at progress when drawing the same way as they look at progress when learning like math or English or whatever. Like if you're trying to memorize, if you get an assignment that's like memorize this Shakespeare soliloquy,
Right,
like the first time you do it, you're not gonna get it right. It's gonna take a
right.
lot of practice, and even when you get through that first soliloquy, you're not gonna sound like you ready for the fucking Globe Theater. You're
True,
gonna be
true.
you're
Right.
gonna be stuttering and stumbling through. It's the same thing with drawing. I think the thing is because we don't have anything really in this country built into our curriculums to like include art in
Or
like
focus
how
on it,
we
make it a
how we
focus.
allow children to like learn, then it becomes this thing that's like, well, the dove only came down and touched a few people, and those chosen people like are the ones who can draw. It's like, no, we persist in the work of drawing because we have the gift of artistry, and we need to use that tool to convey our thoughts and feelings to the public. But because if you're not doing art, society has no practical use for drawing, people don't learn it the way that they used to. And so we relegated it to something different than what it actually is. So if you can draw stick figures, you can draw anything. It's just the patience needed.
This is awesome. That was awesome. Anthony, you should nod your head. I think everybody should nod their head. I think that was fantastic. That was the most humble shit I've ever heard in my life. You're not getting away with it, though. I'm sorry, dog. I'm not letting that rock. The reality of the situation is everybody can draw. Not everybody can draw good. Okay? You can learn shit as much as you want, but it does not matter. There is a level of, right, you stuck to it, you figured it, I got you. But you knew how to make them lines curve a certain way, how to do that.
Yeah, everybody can do math. Everybody can do math, but everybody not Goodwill Hunting.
No, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you where the difference comes in.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm gonna tell you where the difference comes in. There is something about, and this actually falls for most artistic-based talents. As he said, drawing is a skill, and anybody can essentially learn to draw through repetition, practice, things of that nature. But there is a vision that has to exist inside your mind, and being able to translate that to the skill, because we can all sit here and kind of picture Nightcrawler. And like there's even the joke, like you see somebody and it's not quite right. It's like, oh, it looks like they drew that from memory. They draw that. Yeah, I almost said that. It looks like they drew that from memory because something about it is just off. But as he mentioned, that particular pose that Nightcrawler is in, the smoke in the background, the way it's represented, you can see the action taking place in the still image. And I think that's one of the things that sets artists apart. When you look at somebody who does caricatures, they have the ability to look at a person and see the features a different way. They can pinpoint what features make you look like you. And that's
but that's a skill that's learned.
It's not like a musician.
You can have a proclivity to it.
You can learn how to play the piano, but you won't necessarily play it the way like a Ray Charles would play it if you don't have thing.
Now, so it goes into personal.
You can be proficient at it, but you're not going to be. It's not going to be like. I think of the movie Soul. Like it's not going to be of your soul because
I want this nigga to just take the compliment. Right? Like just acknowledge, nigga, you good as fuck, dog.
I appreciate it. The reason why I always do this though is because I do think that it's important for people to understand like the difference between the skill and the artistry. And like you could be a sculptor that sculpts like Leonardo da Vinci, or you can be a sculptor that makes vases that go in the fucking hotels of every Sheraton across America. Both of them are sculptors. Both of them are using tools that are connected to artistry. And I just personally feel like when it becomes, I always want to I just don't let, I never like hearing people say I can't draw, because you could. Gotcha. It's not like the drawing itself is not the thing, like the act and the skill of drawing itself is not this thing that is so like foreign and innate that it can't be taught to anybody. Like if you have hands and you know how to hold a pencil, if you can write letters, right?
When like a draw. Remember that?
You could build a table. You could build a table by the definition of building a table, and it don't necessarily have to be an ornate.
And so the people who like are like myself, who grew up in this country, not really having any sort of like structural support, we're just the people who were like the most passionate and patient with it, because most people who can draw grew up like in a lot of ways teaching themselves how to draw and like going out and like basically giving yourselves assignments, copying this, copying that. It's not like you had a ton of drawing assignments like after probably second grade. You know what I mean? So I just feel like I don't want people to ever feel disconnected from the ability to gain drawing as a skill, because that's what it is. And I don't want it to come across as like this is something that I like was born to do and was like placed inside of me, because that's a disservice to all the hard work that I did put into gaining the skill. Like the artistry and the ideas and the imagination is what I was born with. But like it still takes the dedication and the hard work to like find your medium and like approach your medium with a level of mastery. There's tons of people who draw uninspired artwork at a high technical level because you're just somebody who's they're like, we need this person to look exactly like this thing, and they can just do it. For me, there's not much like magic in that unless like you're being given like an incredible idea to like reproduce. But for me, it's like I have ideas, I have connections that I want to make, and I want to create those things visually. So like the things that I choose to work on allow me are skills that allow me to then express those other things. Because it's like if art was really that hard, all these people wouldn't be able to like scam people by being graphic designers. But like graphic design is just like there's formulas. There's people who create the like standards and the templates, and then there's formulas, and then there's how-to tutorials, and then you can how-to tutorial your way through a graphic design career.
Okay, all right, cool. I got you, bro. You are fucking dope. I feel you,
Appreciate
man.
it.
But I'm just watching all this artwork, and I'm like, holy shit! You got a style. You got a like your own. It's a signature style. It's a way that you're not just a. There's a creativity behind it that I
And I
feel that is
appreciate that.
a natural. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a naturally occurring thing. That when I see it, it's like, oh shit. That's the first time I done seen that, and I'm like, wow, I could. Yeah, man. Okay, we gonna hang out because we gonna make this a praise Jeff. Fucking first
that hate
12
bug,
minutes
that
of the
hate
show.
bug has had enough.
But no,
I
I mean,
need more of this crap.
Yeah,
it's like
I'm drawing here. It's like feed
definitely-
me something.
ATL
definitely a
asshole.
style.
I can't like everything.
So whatever night DJ
Bamas.
Bishop is going to be on the ones and twos, that'll be the night I want to come to the art show. So find out for me when that schedule's created,
Yeah, I got you.
and that's the one I want to check out. And I would pull up DJ Bishop, but you know, Cash said we have to stop making this a praise
Bishop
Jeff
Taylor.
moment.
Yeah. If you like house music.
Right. So
That's all I'm making.
What do we want to discuss first? I know we had some casting stuff that's been announced and questionable.
Well, I say, did we discuss enough James Earl Jones? Can we take actually a couple of minutes?
Let's do that.
To really discuss what that man has meant to each of us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, most definitely.
Please, because Brandy, you went up a few octaves earlier, talking about James Earl Jones in your life. So please, can you how did James?
I went up a few octaves.
Not a few. I'm just talking shit. Yeah, I was trying to make it emotional for the live. So my bad.
No, we're just keeping a buck. I mean,
the distress. I am distraught. No, I just there are certain people that I find it very hard to separate art from artist, because the things that they do in their personal life is oftentimes reflected in their art, and so it's hard for me to separate the two. And then there are people are like, well, this person was that. And I'm like, yeah, also though, this over here, you know what I mean? If you look behind me, I have two very problematic people. on my wall as part of my holy trinity. So I can separate art from artist. Okay. And in this case, I choose to do that with James Earl Jones. I just wanted to preface that for anyone watching who I have been accused of several things because I have taken that stance. Uh, but let me continue. Uh, as a kid, before I even knew who he was, I knew what he sounded like.
Yeah.
Um, and it was very much a part of, I mean, I'm dating myself, but this is a grown A geek, so y'all are on my level. I had storybooks and it was a record, and you would put the record on and it would read the story and it would chime and you turn the
And you would
page.
know it is time to turn the page when you hear the chime sound like this.
So I had Star Wars
Loved it.
of that. And because my dad's a geek, so I just kind of came up with that kind of stuff. But almost every day I heard James Earl Jones. Um, I I just loved him in everything that he did that I saw. I can't pretend. Like I remember watching Claudine with my grandmother, and I just thought he was just the best thing since sliced bread. You know what I'm saying? Um, the Sandlot, uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Field of Dreams. I just everything he was in, I was all in. I don't believe I've ever seen him in anything where I was just like, really coming to America, like The Lion King. The man is prolific. He was an amazing actor. He did things that weren't possible before he did them. Um, and I kind of want to just honor that, and whatever else I'm gonna leave where it's at. So
Okay. Yeah. No, I can absolutely relate. Like I said, one of the things that's kind of struck me, and I get that it's probably the two roles that have reached the largest audience, being the voice of Mufasa and the voice of Darth Vader, but he was such a fantastic actor in addition to his voice work. And I think that's the part that, in a weird way, kind of bothers me. Um, is it's just he's kind of being reduced down to just having this iconic voice, and a lot of his early work that I was forced exposed to, um, and it wasn't a negative thing by any means, but my dad was always very much in support of cultural significance in film and television, and that was like a big part of my upbringing. Like, we I've joked before, like I was a big fan of the Thundercats and Silverhawks. I was only allowed, like, I got Panthro. That was the that was the Thundercat that I was allowed to have.
right,
Which
right.
other one would you want?
I mean, of course, as a kid, I wanted all of them, but it's
You
like
want Lionel,
you
right?
want Lino
Come
because the
on.
show is about him, and then you realize I've gotten older, and I'm like, nah, Panthro was that
Panther
dude.
was the black dude.
Like Panthro
That was the black cat.
I mean, he was like
That was the black
definitely
cat.
an argument could be made that Panther was absolutely black coded, and as a result, it was like that was the character that my dad had absolutely no problem with. My GI Joe figures. I think I started off with
Roadblock.
Roadblock, Doc, and Snake Eyes because Snake Eyes had a mask.
Mm-hmm.
So Snake Eyes could be anybody. That's what we're going with. And even when I got my Silverhawks, I had to get Hot Wing, who was
That's crazy.
The gold
Hot
and
Wing?
red Silverhawk.
The black one was named Hot Wing.
And he was a
What
magician.
year was this?
Wait, and he was a magician.
80.
Yo, that's crazy. That's like
82,
Joe Biden
82?
telling somebody I had a friend named Corn Pop.
82, 81, 82, 81.
Yo,
Between 81 and 83, probably.
I'm sorry for the racism y'all had to endure back then.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was so well done.
But no, I remember growing up and some of the things that, like some of the movies that my dad would put on and we would watch and things like that. I absolutely remember watching Bingo Long and the Traveling All Stars. And
Richard, right?
Yeah, Richard Pryor, Billy D. Williams, James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
And it was a movie about, Negro Baseball League. And so that was one of those things like my dad wanted to make sure I was exposed and saw and, grew up on and had that information. And, one of the other first movies that I remember specifically, like, wow, James Earl Jones was in Conan. And
oh yes,
yeah, he was.
Like it was this sorcerer who controlled these snakes and the big python. And
do you remember the transformation of him into the snake?
It was amazing.
That was spectacular. Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Just like being completely mesmerized. And so I've been very appreciative of everything I've seen where people are at least recognizing some of the other things. And I remember the day I found out that James Earl Jones was not the person behind the mask of Darth Vader. Like, you could not tell me that wasn't actually him.
Yo,
I didn't know that.
Yo, I don't care what nobody.
I remember that too.
Darth Vader black. All right.
Like,
or you culturally appropriating because you got a black man voice box and you ain't black. So
take your
Star Wars fans, y'all can choose which one it is.
See, and now that gives a whole new insight to some of these new characters we're seeing pop up in Star Wars.
Yeah,
because like what?
That's why she had the buns.
Yeah, well, okay, so
I'm gonna show you the dark side.
Vader has some free time for a long time.
The lightsaber right here.
Pause.
The Force was strong with but no, I mean, like, even a little bit later on, of course, I remember him as being one of the professors in the movie Soul Man. Again, just another movie that.
Right? Why was he in that? Why was he in that? Like,
I think he was there to be the voice of
Earl Jones didn't get paid a whole lot for those roles previously.
James Earl Jones.
A low period. I'm gonna just go do Soul Man.
James Earl Jones was
trash can of a movie.
And honestly, I think if you recall his character and everything, I think that his role there, he was to be the voice of reason in that movie.
Yes. And no, he was great in it. It just is like,
how did we get here? Like, but I mean, there's bills to pay in between things. So it's like, you go spend a day on set, do it. Sure, I get it. Because even towards, like I remember, I forget what season it is. It's towards one of the latter seasons, but he was on he played himself on Big Bang Theory. Yeah. And one of the funniest episodes, in my opinion, they had him and Carrie Fisher cameo.
It was like, damn it, James.
Right. And so, he was pranking her. So I mean, and of course, again, like King Jaffe Joffer, like, you talk about Black excellence and absolutely set a standard for a visual medium of what it would look like, and a pure representation of regalness. And
let's be honest. Was anybody shocked that he played the king?
No, not at all.
Even as a kid, I remember being like, well, who else? Like,
I mean, he is like the
I would say, I'm gonna say this. I think that movie shocked a lot of people who have been going to see Eddie Murphy movies and not getting that.
Yeah,
getting completely out. Getting every scene stole from you.
I don't even mean that. This is Eddie's like stance where he's like, I'm not doing the black man in the white world thing. Yeah. Every movie.
He said that and Boomerang.
Yeah,
kind of
and
almost
that
tanked
was
his
the
career.
beginning of white America folding their arms during Eddie Murphy movies instead of laughing and slapping their knee like they do in 48 Hours and all this
other
other
48 hours,
which are great movies, but like you're showing you don't like Eddie Murphy, you like this other thing. But James Earl Jones, I think that can I just say that actually brings up what I feel like I like the most about James Earl Jones, which is he was definitely one of those actors who I think reached out to bridge gaps with younger people than him. He does a movie with Eddie Murphy at the height of his fame when Eddie Murphy has beef with like kind of the original establishment because Cosby was going at him because of his vulgarity and his language and stuff. So there is like this, there's these multiple movies that he does with like people where, you know, a Robert Townsend where he's like, yo, like he's been putting out quality work. Nobody's like giving him a shot. Okay, yeah, I'll be in Meteor Man and I'll wear a goofy high top fade wig
Welcome Home,
because
Roscoe Jenkins. He did for Martin.
that was going to be the one that I said too, because Martin, again, one of those comedians where when he came out, too much, and he goes and delivers. And this, I don't care what nobody think. That's my favorite James Earl Jones performance because it is very close to like things that I experienced like and felt about myself and about my place in my family growing up and seeing like an example of a black man being able to be like, look, I'm hard, I'm tough, I'm surly. Like, yeah, I put my foot in y'all ass, but like we're all grown. And even though you're fine, I'm still going to acknowledge like what I did to make you feel the way that you feel. And I think that he was just in movies that I felt like had very important messages. And very important messages, not like a this is how you should be living, but messages where it's like I am just going to be an example. I'm going to be an example of a black man who is a man's man, but I'm not so rigid that I cannot change for the sake of the people around me who I claim to love. And I understand that I have to change in order to show that love to them. So I agree with you, Sam. I think it's frustrating that the mainstream media is reducing him to two roles where his face is not a part of it. His stature, his size, his gravitas on screen are not the things that people are being drawn to. It's just a disembodied voice that makes you feel powerful. But then why do you not feel the same way when you see the body that that voice is attached to? Why are those? He was in a league. He was in Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
He was in the Sandlot. He was in white people stuff that people like.
That is the mainstream media, but on the posts that I've seen, people are in the comments saying Conan, saying the Field of Dreams, saying I loved him in the Sandlot. You know, people are definitely of all.
And I think the only reason that those two things are being highlighted is because, from a financial perspective, they are the biggest money makers that he was a part of.
Yeah,
so I think that's the only issue from a commercial level. You know, it's probably what they're.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what they're going to do now because he has literally been Vader for what 40.
Both kids good. We don't need no years? Vader. We don't need no more Vader.
Right.
I'm gonna have Vader. Come on.
I mean, I gotta agree. I gotta agree. Like, he's one of those dudes, and you know, he's just one of those men that like, and I literally had to change what I said, like change him from a dude to a man, because the thing about James L. Jones is that I don't care what role it was that he took part in. Every single role he played with a sense of dignity and pride and authority, even when he was exhibiting a sense of humor. Like, he still showed that dignity. And he was one of the few men that I seen on the big screen that, like, I could look at and be like, that's a black man right there. Like, that's a man right there. Like, that's a man right there. And that's one of the big things that I really, really remember about him that hit with me personally. And I know probably the thing that resonates with me the most, and the reason why I'll miss him so much as an actor is I got a chance to do an off-Broadway play one time when I was like long time ago, like 30 years ago. And but my audition was I did his monologue from Fences. And that is, I give it to Denzel. I think Denzel played an absolutely wonderful part in the movie rendition of Fences. It was spectacular. But James L. Jones' monologue in Fences with that whole "what law sounds supposed to like you," like that whole monologue is just that monologue is epic. I mean, that monologue is epic. It's a monologue that literally is Shakespearean, and it set the bar. If you want to do a monologue, if you're a black man, you're doing a monologue, you do that monologue. You're gonna get the role. It is an incredibly hard level of acting to ascend to. And that's the thing. I don't, none of us know him personally. Probably none of us watching this know him personally. And I just feel like that man is the type of man that you go to his house and that motherfucker probably gonna make sure you eat. You know what I'm saying? Like this, it's just he gives off that entire vibe. It's a very good, comfortable, strong black man vibe that I think we just lost. That's a light that went out, that we just lost a really, really positive image of a black man and what a black man is supposed to be.
It's like America's grandfather.
Yeah. I think he set the standard for what a lot of us consider to be like what being regal looks like on screen. Yeah. And I think he had balance. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of actors, when you think of them, they either smiling or they frowning. But when I think of him doing both. I think of him being happy in movies. I think of him, sharing joy with people around him. But, I also think of him being stern. I think of him being angry. Like, he presented like a complete package on the screen of where it's like, every time I see James Earl Jones, I'm not worried about him not knowing what to do in whatever situation that he's being put in on screen. And yes, a lot of that is the writing, but a lot of that too is him and his approach to the work and the roles and what roles he'll take and what roles he won't take. He wasn't really, and this is not to disparage the blaxploitation movement, but he wasn't really a part of that.
Exactly. He didn't participate in it.
Yeah.
He had an opportunity. He was around, but that literally shows his level of dignity, like that Sidney Poitier level of dignity, in that he didn't participate in that blaxploitation.
Yeah. And I think we don't have to get into an expose on blaxploitation. Some things got wrapped up in that I don't think necessarily should have been wrapped up in a title that feels very disparaging.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
He also was just very much like, I want to just act and play roles and show what life is like. And so it's like from cartoon to outer space to literally Earth, Africa, he been a king in all these different spheres. Mm-hmm. And when somebody come into a role playing a king, I don't care really what race they are. That's my comparison. It's like, do I feel like how I feel when James is sitting on that throne in Zamunda? You know what I'm saying? When he shows up when he shows up in America, I'm not Akeem. Why am I worried? But that's the gravitas. I'm like, damn, he really feel like Eddie Murphy daddy in this movie. Yeah. And not just Eddie Murphy Day, everybody. He got a room full of people waiting for him to just walk around with elephants and his son to talk about, and just sent them to America. We don't know what he went back and told them people.
Yeah.
I just feel like if James L. Jones called my name, I'm responding with yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
and standing up.
Right. That is an automatic
The hat's
response.
coming
James
off.
Earl Jones.
The suit just magically gonna appear on my body.
There you go. Yes, sir.
Right. It does feel like somebody you couldn't walk around with unless you were dressed a certain way, or you have to step it up to just be in his presence or something.
But also, he's not the kind. He never felt like the kind of person that was coming around like y'all need to pull y'all pants up and blah 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 blah. You know what I mean?
No, but it's
like,
funny
I
because
understand people
he
gonna be
wouldn't say
young.
that, but he would make you feel like you should.
Yeah,
like there's a certain kind of respect that comes, but I feel like he commands that kind of respect without having to ask for it.
Yeah.
And I think that would be my response.
It's like, I don't play all that goofy stuff, kids.
Yep.
Teresa?
Huh? You know, I haven't heard half of what has been said because my internet.
She said, "It's fine. Jeffrey's talking. I can ignore him."
Yeah, pretty much. I know
Rat
Jeff
beef.
said it for me.
We got geek
I
beef.
heard her say it. I heard her say it.
I seen it. I was there. So with what are perhaps, because this is one of those things, like we could definitely go on and on and on. I think my standout role for him, as I mentioned, like he's been in a lot of stuff. I've seen him in just like so many movies, but I think perhaps his performance in Conan was the one that Conan in Coming to America, you know, where he plays like the top of the good and the top of the evil, so to speak, like having a main villain and whatnot. That's definitely one of the roles that stands out most to me. What about you all? What is the, like, is there a single role that's just like the epitome of his performance? Like, what's the one for you?
Well, I would like to say though, after
please.
Sam, you said, you know, a lot of people seem to reduce him to the two most famous or prevalent voice roles of Mufasa and Darth Vader.
Right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that though. Not reducing, but because for me, there's nothing wrong with seeing him as having that iconic voice. And I'm not reducing him to anything. That's just the way I remember him. And
right.
I think he used the voice such that, you know, it's still a big thing. I mean, that's James Earl Jones. When you heard that voice, you knew that was James Earl Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
His voice is other people try to sound like James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, and I think that shows the icon status of him having used that voice. Because, you know, other people have the same kind of tool. There are other people who have great voices who couldn't do what he did. I used to date a guy who had a great voice and he still wasn't shit. So James Earl Jones,
nothing regal about his ass, right?
Not a damn thing. He used his tool such that he became an icon. You know?
Sorry.
And equating him to Darth Vader, I don't think that was a bad thing because that was the first thing I thought when I saw that he had passed. Yes, he was a great actor, but liking the things that I like sci-fi and I like animation. So what I know him for is Darth Vader and Mufasa. So I don't know a lot of his acting roles because I won't say I don't like old movies, but that's not the kind of thing. If I'm looking for a movie to watch, I'm not going to go back there. No.
Mm-hmm.
Now, coming to America, absolutely, he was a king. Absolutely. I mean, I remember that. Um, but because that was more from my era. But it kind of hit me a little bit when you said, well, people just think of Coming to America and the Lion King or whatever. That's not a bad thing.
No, and I do.
You got red, my nigga. You got red.
You got red.
Oh,
the drama. The
and that's
drama
what
we
I'm
over here
trying
like the
to do.
No,
Bad Girls Club.
And I'm not. So my rebuttal. Give me my 2 minutes to reply. No, you absolutely have a valid point, and I guess just to clarify my phrasing in what I said, there was so much more, and those 2 roles, without a doubt, are the epitome of iconic. You say Mufasa, you immediately hear James Earl Jones. You can't talk about Darth Vader without hearing Darth Vader speak. So there's power in those roles. And I acknowledged immediately that those 2 roles probably have the greatest reach of everything he's done. Somebody has either watched Star Wars or watched The Lion King. Globally. There's no question in those. I would be shocked to find somebody who hasn't seen both, let alone not seen either one.
Or not familiar with the characters, at least.
Even if you've never watched the Star Wars, you
know who Darth Vader is.
You know who Darth Vader is. You probably know the lines. And I mean, that goes into some other part of it. But the attachment of James Earl Jones to those 2 roles, it is his voice, his distinctive voice that is unmistakably his and no one else's. And that will forever be his sound, and nothing can ever replicate it. And there's other people who have distinctive speaking patterns, and they sound unique. There's something about their voice and whatnot, and they don't have the same gravitas that you get from a James Earl Jones sound. So yeah, they are without a doubt phenomenal, and I think those are fantastic. And I'm not saying that everybody should be posting pictures of Thulsa Doom, because I don't think the average person knows who the hell Thulsa Doom is. And I get that part, And so when the images are going up, cool. You put those 2 images up, and you can automatically mentally associate those 2 things. And as Brandy pointed out, people are in the comments saying there was other stuff. And I am just of the group in the mindset that I want to make sure we're giving all his flowers, not these 2 roses. And so I don't want to take anything from his voice. I just want to make sure we're adding to his voice.
I want to just add that was pretty smooth, saying we want to give him all his flowers, not just these 2 roses. That was pretty quick. That was hot. That was a hard bar right there.
That was real. That was real though. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't trying to backpedal or nothing.
And I feel like too is one of them things where it's I think it's probably my critique is more of the media, because I feel like the media has a role to inform. And so if all the media is saying on the mainstream, and it's I know it's the mainstream media, but this is a man who deserves retrospectives and all these other things that y'all gonna do when George Clooney die and when Dick Van Dyke dies and all these, heroes with the persuasion, the complexion for protection, when they pass, that's what they get. And so I need to feel that coming for James. And I think that was more. I think your modem was out / you was ignoring me on the part where I had said that before. But yeah, I definitely agree. It makes sense for people to go to Darth Vader and Mufasa first, but for certain people in the media, there's I think a responsibility to then dive deeper, even if you don't know, even if you only thought that's what he did. Did you at least pull up his IMDb page? Did you get curious about any of the other credits that you saw below before you took on the responsibility of relaying information about this person to the public. Like, everybody's free to have their own associations, and I'll just sit up here and say my favorite role was my whole Roscoe Jenkins. So I definitely can't slight nobody for being like my favorite role is like one of the highest grossing, two of the highest grossing franchises of all time. Like, yeah, that 1000% makes sense. That would be most people's first associations.
Oh yeah,
I just feel like the media should go deeper because that's their job.
And I hope they will. Let's hope he just passed. So let's give him some time. And let's hope that, we get, I'll remember. How much TV do we watch though? Do we watch a whole lot? Are we gonna catch it? I don't even
I'm talking about articles.
Jones. It's not like they don't know who he is.
Exactly. So what publications should be giving props? Sorry,
I know that they'll do a People magazine cover. I know that I see that when people pass. I know that I've already started to see flip videos and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
I can only assume that this will continue because the man was he's one of the greatest actors of our generation. Well, the generation that came before me, he was one of those actors. So,
he's iconic. He transcends.
He is iconic. And I have two that I cannot separate, but one is two in itself. So one is of course Darth Vader, and two has a 2A and 2B, and that's because they're the same character, and that is King Jafar and Mufasa of Pride Rock, down to having the exact same wife. They were the same.
Facts.
So I just gonna bundle those three together.
So Eddie Murphy plays something. No. He can't sing. I don't want to hear him sing. It's just that great to be king.
He did find a Hakuna Matata when he was in New York. Apparently, according to the second one, he Hakuna'd his Matatas.
I mean, it was no worries.
He definitely was Hakuna.
He does Hakuna.
He got his Hakuna Matata. More
Matatas up.
Simi was definitely about that Hakuna Matata life. He have no worries, no cares, no concerns.
Pouring out a little bit for James Earl Jones.
There we go. All right. I did post the IMDb in the chat, so feel free to click on that link. Go explore, do yourself a favor, and see what else is out there. A lot of great stuff.
Can I just say thank you to Anthony, man? Thank you. We appreciate the longevity, man, and the comments. I really appreciate that.
That's the homie, man.
Thank you.
Man, Anthony, we like this. We like peas and carrots. We be thinking the same thing.
One day I'm gonna get Ann on the show. One day I'm gonna get Ann on the show. He'll fit right up in this piece. I promise you. It'd be awesome. Jeff, throw out one of those random topics you have, man. Let's
Oh my God, those were
man. I'm starting to become more advanced in age, and as I do so, things are starting to bother me more. Just like little stuff that shouldn't bother me, but it does. I'm 39.
Oh,
you get paid. One of us.
That's it. I'm entering. I've always been slightly cantankerous, but I'm entering full capital C cantankerous mode.
Requires a lot less effort now.
Oh yeah. I know it's shocking.
Naturally irritated.
I know it's very shocking. I was just as shocked as you were when they told me.
I was shocked just now.
But I'm tired of, and see, like, this is gonna kind of go into like conspiracy koofy hat, a little bit of foil hat. So just stick with me.
Okay.
I'm tired of all the time between these shows and these movies. Hollywood is a well-oiled accounting machine at its core.
Right.
These things should not be happening the way that they are happening unless they are by design.
What do you mean?
And I'm like, what would they have to gain from completely fucking up their audience experience for shows that they are supposedly trying to make popular and get people to watch so that they sign up for streaming, get advertisers to spend dollars, et cetera, et cetera. Why would they take a show like Game of Thrones and you have to have 2 years between the seasons and the shit don't end right because the books aren't done? Like, why would you let that just continue? Like, why would you let your last season of a show that everybody loves be trash? Why would you take how much time we taking between Bridgertons? How much time we taking between all these different shows that 25 years ago would have been on network TV, would have been doing twice as many episodes on schedule yearly and probably lasting for 5 or 6 seasons, going into syndication and actually allowing and creating a real economy for the people who work in Hollywood. Why would they undo all of this the way that they're doing it? And it's AI. Because what they're going to try to do, what they've been trying to do, is replace the writers, replace the actors, and they're going to be able to come to the people and say, well, you want your shows like that? We got this AI show for you. We got a new episode every day. We got a new season like clockwork, but like we can only afford to do it this way. Eventually the people are going to be like, I mean, it is kind of a good
part
show.
Of the strike, the SAG strike addressed that they couldn't do that.
Yes, and what they can't do is they can't use an actor's likeness or voice with AI without like licensing them. Because what they were trying to do is have extras come in, be like screen, and then they were going to just AI all the extras, but you're getting a one-time fee, and you in every TV show on NBC this Thursday.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you got a one-time fee because they scanned your likeness because
for the newbies.
The computers are not good enough yet to make real looking humans. Like they're trying to push these AI looking movies, like movie scenes. Like they're literally trying to make real life AI movies, and people post them on Twitter, and it's like, this is goofy, but it's less goofy looking than it looked last year, and next year it's going to be less goofy looking. And it gets less and less goofy every single year until do you know what you're watching? Right. Because I'll be real, Marvel, the same way. I've told Sam numerous times a few years ago, thanks to my job, I got to see Civil War like 6 months early. It was 75% done. It was a lot of stuff in there that was like, oh, that's CGI? That whole brick wall, y'all couldn't just get a brick wall,
right?
So I'm not with this like making this way. Spider-Verse getting pushed back again, like y'all, like the amount of money that goes into all of these fixtures and all of these properties is so like accounted for down to the dime, down to the penny, that like this level of incompetency is suspicious. Like, yes, I get like some of these people are actually dumb, but like now I feel like some people are playing with this dumb thing and they really doing nefarious stuff under the guise of stupidity. And I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. So that's what's been grinding my gears in entertainment. Feel free to talk about am I crazy? Is it crazy for me to feel like, why can't we have shows that are good and have 22 episodes? Because you're too fucking poor and cheap to hire a writer's room.
Can I? Who's next? Who's next on this one? Because Jesus Christ,
you said the key word there. You said writing, and so that was his hot button. Go ahead.
It wasn't that portion. It wasn't. True. True.
Writing.
Well done. Yes, but I will be honest. This has been a huge pet peeve of mine that Jeff introduced into this conversation is the 8 fucking episode season.
Yeah.
The consistent 8 episode season. Now, let's be real. We're all grown here, so we all done had 20 something episodes, please, on my seasons. I require 20-something episodes. It is the most laziest shit. And yeah, we're going back to the writing. And I'm going to blame the writing. Because I feel like whoever is doing it right now is just not concerned with the art portion of it and understanding what is required to entertain the audience. We want to grow with we want characters. We don't want plot. I don't want you to just tell me how some magic shit happens, how some crazy shit happens, right? Everything is just this person gets into this situation and it leads here. And here's 8 episodes of how that happens. No, I want to get caught up in the character. People like characters. We grew up with characters. We grew up with people from series and different shows that we can personally name. Right? We know Urkel. We know the Fonz. We know characters. We know specific people in these series. And a lot of these people that they give us, outside of the ones that are spectacularly done, right? Like, but even then, if you look at something as great as like a Stranger Things, I know 11. And I know 11. I'm sorry, I might know Hopper. Right? But who knows? How many people can name?
You
all
only
4
know
kids?
Will because the whole thing was
right,
like, "Where's Will?" We know Will name.
There you go. How
and
many
I'll
can
give him
name
his
all
props.
4
He was
kids?
acting his ass off season 2, but
they're great actors. They're
I don't know
all
shit about
great
them.
actors, right? It's all great actors. But look how short you made that season. Now, not to get off subject, because
be fair though, the episodes were like an hour and a half. Each episode of the last season was like a movie.
Truth.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get off Jeff's point about AI, because I think the main point here was about AI. Am I right about that?
The main
Jeff?
point is the main point is
Is it, do you feel
too
AI is
long
an
in between
issue?
these seasons, and I feel like there's something nefarious going on that is trying to tip
okay.
the
I got you.
balance
This
towards
is the
AI.
hat. This is the
that's the
hat.
Koofy
Okay.
with the foil lining.
I would definitely say that if you just kind of look at the numbers, and I'm going to try to touch on both points, and this is I'm going to co-sign with you, Jeff, as far as it is a little questionable, because it should not take. Okay, so sitcoms and TV shows that we grew up on were roughly 20 minutes per episode, because it was a 30-minute episode and you had commercials. You're probably getting about 20 minutes. If you get 20 episodes at 20 minutes,
22.
You're looking at 440 by 60. You're looking at like 7 hours. So mathematically, by the numbers, if you get 8 1-hour episodes, you're technically getting the same volume of show. But they're putting out good TV shows, or they put out good TV shows for years without taking 2 years in between. So I can absolutely attest that I don't feel like I should have to wait 2.5, 3 years to see the next season. Like, you got a summer to make that shit happen, because I need it by the fall.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I think it goes into what RG is talking about, which is the focus on character over story, because the focus on story over character, because they're just doing all this like plot stuff, and everybody's so focused on like originality because they scared of being sued. Like, you can think about your favorite sitcom right now. It's probably going to be different for everybody in here, but that sitcom has somebody did something wrong and had to go to court. Somebody got a ticket. Somebody went to jail. Somebody went on a blind date with a dude that they didn't know. 2 friends like the same person, and they got to figure out how to choose in between. Or the main character likes 2 guys, and she finds out they're friends. Like, this is what it means. Situational comedy. Put these people in situations that people end up in, and your character will have to navigate this situation in a unique way. the whole situation don't have to be unique. It don't got to be I got a speeding ticket and I got to go to like the underwater court in Atlantis and not, like no, go to a regular courthouse, but your person is crazy. Martin doesn't deal with having to go to court the same way Khadijah has to deal with it, the same way Urkel has to deal with it, the same way Will Smith has to deal with it. They all had to deal with it, but their characters and the strength and the spine of who those characters were helped you understand how and why they would navigate those situations in the way that they do.
And what draws us
in? And the issue with that is because you can never, like, they do not want to put any actors in the position where they can look at a show and be like, this is all me, player. So, like, you can kick the bread. They replace and Viv, they replaced Harriet too. You know who they didn't replace? Will. You know who they didn't replace? Urkel. Like,
yeah,
what are we doing here? Living Single, they tried to replace some folks. That don't work, player. And it's out of here.
Right.
A Different World, they were trying to flip the cast. They brought in new people. It was interesting and it was fun, but it's like, yo, like, Jada Pinkett is fine. Lena's funny. Bumper Robinson is like, whatever. All the girls like him, but like,
yeah, but Lisa Bonet was bugging out.
I'm here for Whitley, Dwayne, Freddie, Ron, Kim, and Mr. Gaines. And go. Maybe Jaleesa and Colonel Taylor if I'm in the mood. But like now, so now they're creating shows based on like scenarios and situations where people can be interchangeable.
Exactly.
They'll kill you off and make it seem like, ooh, the artistry. It's like, no, bro. They killing you off because they're just making a world.
They needed a camera shot.
Person. Yeah.
They needed a camera shot. Somebody sat up there and said, wouldn't it be dope if we filmed this happening and showed it happening? A lot of things are set up for a particular scene. And then the plot, everything that happens,
we want to shock the audience.
Get you to that point. Yeah. And
they're going to be talking about this on socials. If we kill this person, they'll never see it coming. And it's like, okay, bro, so you playing to the crowd.
Right.
There's certain TV tropes just in general that have always kind of like, whenever I watch something now, I get very irritated by some of those tropes. Now, what you mentioned as far as a situational comedy, that's fine because things that are like real life situations, things that actually happen to people, and having to see how this person handles the situation and how much it differs from that person having to go through the same situation. Yeah, that works. And that gives us the individual character arcs and it shows us the difference between the characters. As it relates to the show, like, I don't necessarily know that like every show isn't set up for situational stories. Sometimes there is just a main plot and it takes us 8 episodes. I mean, if it's a main plot, so every TV show isn't going to work. I mean, if you do seasons and things like that, like for example,
what's the main plot of different work? What's the main plot of the Cosby Show? I think I only say that to say
got this fine ass wife and all these badass kids.
Yeah, but I think I only say that to say I think when the show is focused on the main plot, is that it becomes a problem.
All right, think about it like this.
You're focused on trying to get to what's going to happen. You're trying to get to a moment, and you're writing, and you're creating these characters strictly for the purpose of doing things that get them to that moment, as opposed to what endears us to most media is having characters that we see in situations and watching how they handle those situations. And you can escalate the situation naturally to keep us still engrossed in the series or the movie or whatever it is.
So we asking for. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I want to just throw an example out of a show that I'm watching. I don't know if everybody's watching it. I'm not going to do no like spoilers or nothing, but like Only Murders in the Building, right?
Right.
Season 1, in my opinion, phenomenal. I watched like 7 episodes the first day because I hadn't heard of it, and I just was flipping and just blazed through it. Like the characters that Martin Short and Steve Martin and Selena Gomez play, the way that they play off of each other, the chemistry that they have in season 1, along with the actors who play the residents of the building that they live in, who most of whom are character actors in season 1, is phenomenal. Then it got hot. Season 2 is like, we've got Meryl Streep, we've got Paul Rudd.
Wow.
The season was still good, but it did feel very much like we're pulling like our main character. It was. I mean, it's classic trilogy. Second movie, the main 3 are kind of pulled away from each other and going on separate individual adventures. Will they stick together? Will they whatever? Right? The friendship is tested, but like the power of they still had a decent balance of like people who everybody knew. So like, what's the light skinned dude from Grey's Anatomy? He was on it. Like everybody had like a famous like second scene partner come in season 2. Season 3 is just fucking cameo. Like,
oh wow,
it's like every time you turn around a corner is somebody. When it's taking me out of this world where I'm like, I'm supposed to be engaged in this weird building in New York that has these weird New York characters, like you showed me in season 1. Now we're making a movie, and it's like,
wow,
this is a lot. This is a lot. Because just the idea of the 3 people being in a scenario where murders keep happening around them and they solve it on their podcast isn't enough.
That's a fantastic premise.
5,000 people got murdered in Angela Lansbury's hometown, and all she did was find out who did it and write a book. For however many seasons she did it, she didn't have to go to Hawaii. She didn't have to go to outer space. She didn't have to have her good friend Dame Judi Dench come over from England. Like, Angela Lansbury was the character. She was the draw. She was it. Maybe the little sheriff dude who used to be in the oatmeal commercials too. But like everybody else on that show, like you might know who they are now, but you ain't really like it was. I don't remember no special guest starring Murder She Wrote.
What you got, Brandy?
Go ahead, Brandy. Sorry.
As a Murder She Wrote fan, I have to step in. There was always guest stars.
There were
famous ones.
Yes, yes,
were a lot.
And she was always going to places. Like she didn't just stay in Cabot Cove. She was in Boston. She always had some cousin getting married or something. I just want to interject.
I'll stand corrected.
But was it a situation where everywhere she went, mysteriously somebody died?
Well, no, I think it still goes to. I think it still proves Jeff's point.
Yes, every episode, absolutely. It's just like Matlock. Every episode is going to be some fuckery. You know it. You came here to see it, and the guest star is usually the one who did it. We know that, but it's
because you're the guest star.
There you go. Yeah.
Either it happened to the guest star, or the guest star is guilty. That's why they're the
or the guest stars. The guest star is innocent, and she has to prove the guest star didn't do it.
Right. Like,
so there's
like
that.
I'm actually, I've been watching The Love Boat, which I've realized I love procedurals, but there are so many. I don't like cop procedural. It's too much cop procedural. It's too much medicine procedural for me. But this is like a procedural 3 love stories. And a lot of the stories, a lot of the situations have been like recycled. It's like people getting on a boat for a few days to fall in love. How fast and how weird can we make these people fall in love?
And there's some weird connection. There's always some random weird connection.
The dialogue on that show.
Perfect.
When people be falling in love, I'll be forgetting it's day 2 of the cruise.
Yep.
But that moonlight hit and David Hasselhoff got you out on the Lido deck.
Let me tell you something.
I get it, Julie McCoy.
There is something about the air breezing across you on a cruise boat.
I get
it. Even Don Knotts got some
is player. Billy Crystal. Like, I mean, like you about to be famous you don't know it yet, but you about to be famous. Jimmy Walker was on there like a few too many times, but you know.
Yeah.
So here's a question then. When we look at plot being the main focus or whatnot, and we're not getting much character development and things like that. It works sometimes, it doesn't work other times. Right. And I think that comes into the situation when we talk about a TV show that could have been a movie, or we watch a movie and we're like, man, this would have been better as a show because maybe we want to consume more of it. The first thing that came to mind was like, John Wick is nothing but plot. There is one story, revenge. That's the whole plot of the whole movie is revenge. There's no, like, every time something pops up, we know that there's backstory there. There's obviously history. I want to know more. No.
Right.
No. You're not getting none
it's
of it.
It's enough you know they know each other. They were in Paris together. Moving on.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, let me tell you something. The fact that we never got to know
Paris.
No, and it's funny you say that because I'm thinking of what was the place they talked about in the Avengers when Clint and Black Widow, when Clint and Natasha were talking. Budapest. If I ever see what the hell happened in Budapest, I'm gonna be upset because I'm gonna feel like you took something away.
You're gonna be upset.
You gotta have Disney X for that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like whatever. But there again, it's one of those things where like sometimes, not necessarily just like a throwaway line, but like when you say things and acknowledge things, and I watched an old Jackie Chan movie the other day just because I was flipping through and I saw the name and I was like, oh wait, is this what the heck? They did an opening, and you know how sometimes when a movie opens up, they have like the little paragraph and it like gives you the synopsis.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like there's your plot, there's your premise. Everything you need to know is in that paragraph. They did like a 2-minute intro to the story. When I tell you I was completely caught up in them 2 minutes, and everything that happened after that was playing off of that 2-minute intro. Now, it was a Jackie Chan action flick, so the movie carried itself whether you gave it in 2 minutes or not.
It's not Police Story, is it?
And say what?
What movie is it?
It wasn't Police Story, was it?
It wasn't Police Story. It was actually City Hunter. So, and I've been on a City Hunter kick because they had a new movie on Netflix recently. I watched that, and
you got me into watching the anime.
And look, and right after that, I went back and started watching the anime.
That's a lot of episodes.
If anybody's ever seen the clip of Jackie Chan as Chun-Li, this is the movie that has that clip. Yeah, there's a whole thing. Gary Daniels played Ken. Jackie Chan was, you had Ryu in there at one point with the big mohawk and not mohawk, but the big high top. They did E Honda. It's.
Wait, you mean Guile?
Yeah, Guile was in there.
Okay.
No, I mean they had all the characters. They had about 4 or 5 different characters, but most importantly, Jackie Chan played
Tangent
and did great. But check it out. But after watching City Hunter, like I said, the first little bit, the first like 2 minutes was just a backstory of who the character is, who the actors, who the players are, and boom, we get right into the story. And everything still revolved around that part. And, you have something like a John Wick where everything is plot. We know that there's backstory because we see him go and talk to the ballet director. And he's like, I have this. And so obviously that shit means something because she has to do what he says. And they're coming back. In some cases, obviously, it's not going to work for everything. And I get where it could be the writing. But I think sometimes it's more about what the plot is that maybe we need more background. We want more character development. Or maybe it's just those times where we want to be more invested in the characters. Would I be interested in seeing the prequel to John Wick, call the movie Baba Yaga and show me the mission that no one could complete? Absolutely. No, I would be down for it because I watched the hell out of Continental. I thought that was fantastic.
I agree. It was a great show. Great show. Now, I just don't want to see I don't want to see anything where I know how it ends.
I have a problem with that, but I have seen that it can be done. The fact that you have to stop here doesn't tell me how we got there. Rogue One proved. I know everybody in this film. Like, I know what happens to y'all. I know where this ends. But seeing what it took to get to that point can still be quite entertaining. And we know that no matter what, John Wick is going to get out of the thing. And of course, there's going to be like, well, there's no real sense of danger because we know no matter what happens, he's going to survive. He has to survive because he's in 3 movies after this.
Can we get Teresa on this? Because she made a lot of faces. No, you made a shit ton of faces. I'm looking at your circle the whole time. The whole time we talking, I'm like, you just making faces like
y'all some
reacting
nerds.
quietly, right?
No.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, whenever she has something to contribute, she lets us know.
Because real talk, she really, I loved her perspective on why the Vader thing and why James Earl Jones' voice. I love her perspective. She's my light. You gotta understand, she's my light. So at my hate of darkness, you know what I'm saying? Teresa be trying to get me out of my hate of darkness. And I'll be like, all right, sis, I see you. I want to believe. So, yes, I have a personal, this is ulterior motive. You're going to save me.
Most of the faces I was making was because I have no idea what y'all are talking about. The shows that y'all are talking about, I don't watch, so the faces are like, okay.
So when you watch a show, do you find yourself connecting more to shows that are very plot driven or more character driven?
Now you mentioned, you were saying that you like procedurals, but you don't like cop procedurals or medical procedurals, and those are my favorites.
I like some of them, but I just think there's like a lot of them, and I'm just like.
Yeah, there are a lot of them, so I can't watch them all. So of course, I don't like them all, but I mean that's my favorite kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Procedurals. So
right.
It's probably going to be more plot driven for me.
Absolutely.
But I do like to have that connection to the characters.
That's interesting that you see procedurals as plot driven.
Right, for real.
I'm fascinated by that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because you said plot driven or character driven.
Why do you care what happens?
Well, if I
hold on. Let me. That seemed like a really weird question. What cop procedural do you like? CSI or anything like that?
Yes, I like CSI.
Okay. Why do you care what happens to that girl? Why do you care if they figure it out?
But it's not really me caring about what happens to that girl, actually, because with CSI, I like the science.
So you're interested in more in like how they solve the crime and like what chemical they gonna figure out causes the footprint to do. Okay.
And it's the same thing with the medical shows, because I find myself learning while they are learning or while they're figuring things out. So I know what this machine is, and I know what chemical you have to use with that machine. So I'm watching something else. Yeah, I'm watching something else. I'm going, oh, well, you have to get out the cyanoacrylate, because I'm a freaking nerd.
It's like when they were delivering the baby on Martin, and Cole was like, "Me and Moms was watching Doogie Howser last night." Like, how you know that?
Not exactly.
Can I just ask a follow-up question to that before we move forward in this stuff? Do you do further research on the things that you see in the shows just to make sure that, like,
no?
So George Clooney said that this is what we're going to do, and you was like, something? Mama asked, hey, something? So, I ain't even mad, Teresa. I think
I just take it at face value that they're doing the actual procedure that you would do for that.
It is definitely medical. It is technically correct. Yes.
Right. Now, and then I can go get on my sister's nerves by diagnosing and treating.
Dr. Teresa.
Yes.
Dr.
And my
Teresa
sister is looking at me and rolling her eyes like,
your business.
So
mind your business.
Here's an interesting situation, and we talk about procedurals. So, because I've had a lot of free time, I've been, I guess the closest thing I can equate it to is volunteering. I've been doing some volunteer work with an organization that works my company, blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
Well put. That was very well put, sir.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we did not violate no social media policies.
Beautiful.
But I've had an opportunity where, because I just had like this downtime where somebody was watching The Mentalist, and I caught like 5 episodes of The Mentalist because he was just like flying through the season, and then went over to Will Trent. And looking at these 2 shows, The Mentalist, Will Trent, and I was like, how is this any different than Elementary?
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those moments.
Dare you? No,
did you watch Elementary? Did you watch Elementary and enjoy?
Wait till the Elementary hive hears about this.
Yes. And like, because I really like Sherlock Holmes, and so of course, like with Elementary being highly based on Sherlock, hell, it was Sherlock.
It's
Holmes.
Literally directly.
Yeah, literally, like. Yeah. But I mean, obviously, there's
also
like
Lucy
the little.
Liu, just putting that out there.
Say what? Would you say?
Also Lucy Liu on.
Right. Well, see, I didn't want to come off as a pig to say why I was watching Elementary.
I mean,
we're definitely happy that the woman in one of the women in our group
upset that Lucy Liu was in Elementary. I'm just saying.
I agree.
It wasn't a twist my arm to watch this. I will go there. But nonetheless, so I'm watching this, but my point being, like, when you talk about how things are plot driven versus character driven, and then procedurals, I think situations like that where you have this one character, because it falls in that I like all of those. Columbo, Matlock, you know what I'm saying? When you have that one person, Monk, you have that one person that sees things differently. And they're the special person. Only they can see it. I mean, hell, I talk about Psych like it's the greatest damn show. And I know it's a goofy cornball ass show. It's a creature of the week because that's what it was designed to be. Yeah. But Sean Spencer sees things differently. And it is because he is just hyper aware and learned to pay attention to all of the details. And he sees shit that no one in their right mind should ever see or notice or even pay attention to. But his dad was a police officer, so he's been trained. But then it's like when you get to The Mentalist, and it's like he knows just where to be and he can get inside the head of the criminal, and then it's like you take a show like Poker Face, where all she can do is know that she can tell when you're lying and when you're not. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But based on that, she knows how to ask a series of questions where she can get you to admit whatever it is she wants to know. And a lot of times she comes right in and she says, like, so I know you killed him, but I don't know how. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, and they show you flat out, like, here's the murder, here's how it happened. Boom. And then you go through the episode, and now you're getting to see what unique situations occur that allow her to figure that information out. When you watch The Mentalist, you get to see what unique perspective he has, how he puts himself in the situation.
Why do you care about that?
Well, and that's the thing. It is watching. Those are situational dramas, if you will, or situational procedures, so to speak. Because the only thing that's different between these shows, because they always end up kind of having similar stories, similar events, similar plots.
Similar plots. I'm saying? Okay.
Similar plots. And the only thing that's different about them is how Will Trent sees the crime scene, how Sherlock sees the crime scene, how the girl from Poker Face sees the crime scene, how Columbo, Matlock, you know what I'm saying? Like all of that. But it's the procedural aspect of it where you watch this, you watch that, and then it's like you take something like a Criminal Minds that focuses a little bit more on all of the different characters as opposed to just a single focus character. And I think that's where you get into the only differences in these shows is it's the individual person. So you get a sense of like bond, like being able to bond more with that character, because it feels more character driven, just because it's their particular spin on this situation. Because anytime somebody's found randomly there's always a body discovered by a jogger in the woods, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them, that's going to be one of the plots. And when we get there to the scene and they start looking at the crime scene, our specialist is going to be the person who sees the one piece of evidence that everybody else missed. Every one of them do that. And so the only difference is, well, how did he discover it versus how she discovered it versus how that person discovered it. But regardless of the show, I'm curious what's happening. How did we get to this point? I'm still interested in who did the murder. I want to know why this murder happened. So I specifically want to know what happens to the little girl at the end. It doesn't matter which show it is, doesn't matter which specialist it is. And the only difference is going to be the individual approach of the different specialists.
Which means you watch every show in which a little girl is murdered.
Well, I don't necessarily want to watch those, but you know what I'm saying? It's like the random jogger from 20 years ago, and we discovered that person had a secret key, and that was the scratch on the left arm that only our specialist was able to detect. And it turns out this is connected to the case we were working on 3 months ago. You know what I'm saying? It's like all of that little stuff, which doesn't, I mean, come on. That is literally just pushing the story forward. Because none of that stuff.
But I mean, I kind of, sorry, my bad.
Because I need Brandy just chilling and sitting, and we need a tiebreaker. So, Brandy, please, can you help us with this situation?
Any thoughts on procedural story plot?
Yes, plot or character? Plot or character?
I thought we were just saying what was grinding our gears. I didn't prepare anything to inject into this.
No, this is all off the head. This is all, from each and every one of us. We have obviously put way too much thought into this in the off season. So
no. I have other things that like grind my gears. So I mean, if we want to move on to other.
I thought that was what was introduced is like, this is just the thing that grinds my gears. What grinds your gears? And then we got into a thing about character and plot. I am a character-driven person. I will watch trash if I like the person doing the trash. You give me a good character that grabs me right away, I will follow them through whatever crap they're doing because I like that character. I can watch shows like Shameless because as terrible as they are, I like Frank. I like, the kids.
They're
I like
compelling.
They're problematic, but I want to see what happens with these characters the next episode. Whatever situation you're going to put them in, they're going to react because of, I know that if Mickey is coming over to start trouble because that's Mickey. What he's going to do, I don't know. But when he gets there, it's going to be, you know what I'm saying? I am a character person. I don't care what's happening every week on the Cosby Show. I care who's it going to be about. Because if it's about Vanessa, I know this is likely to be who is the episode about this
Somebody
week.
getting in trouble.
I care about characters.
Who getting in trouble and
my gears right now is Ice Spice.
Nope. We're talking about her. Nope. We're not giving her no credit. Nope. The no talent. No.
Hey. No. How you gonna shut her down?
No. Because I'm shutting Ice Spice down. I'm sure other things
that y'all listed. I'm like I don't care, like Teresa. You love CSI. I love CSI, but you know why I like CSI? Because of Gus Grissom. When Gus Grissom left the show, I left the show. My favorite character that was on CSI Miami, they killed him off like the second season. I never went back. I get attached to. Why do I love Murder, She Wrote? Because I love Jessica Fletcher. Okay. Why do I love Matlock? I love me some Ben Matlock. Boy, you
see how they're gonna do it
in any situation, and I'm gonna watch me some Ben. You know what I mean? James Garner in whatever his show was. I loved that. I loved him. So I'm going to watch. So yeah, Columbo, sure, whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
Kojak, gotcha. Well, where are we going this week? It was the characters, and I think what is missing is that we got to grow with these characters. So Columbo is a detective. First season, he is a detective. He comes in with his rumple jacket. He solves the case.
And how many shows in that season, Brandy?
By season 5, though, we know his family. We know his backstory. We get to know. We know now that when he does this, that's what this means, because we know we have developed a relationship with this character. When they try to replace people like in Living Single, you cannot replace somebody and throw them into a bunch of people that we have now gotten to know after 5 years. I know that when Max comes in and throws her leg over the chair, it's because something is wrong. And now we're going to have to talk about that, because I have gotten to know who this character is.
You already know that, right? You already know that.
Move the dude in, and they try to treat him as though we should know him the way we know the girls. It feels forced. It feels off, because
and they tried to make it seem like we should try to spend time to get to know him. It's like, no, we came here for Khadijah and them.
Exactly.
Not Mr. Light-skinned sexy man Genuine Jr. Like,
he's literally generic man number 4. What is Max doing? What is going on with
girl man of the year?
I am a character person. I am.
Well, even then, so where's the correlation, or where's the connection between? And we'll move over to other things that grind our gears, because when I talk about tropes, there's certain things. One thing,
and we are hitting hour 2, so.
But very aware. But where's the correlation between the characters and the type of character? Because if you find that you are always attracted to characters who end up in the same plots.
No, I mean, to me, it's like you said, John Wick, and you were like, well, there's all this stuff going on, and we don't really know what's going on, and this is a plot-driven movie. But for me, it is a very character-driven movie, because I care about John Wick.
He saved the cat
at home. Like you said, the first 2 minutes of the movie, the first 10 minutes of John Wick, we know what's going on. He's at home, the wife is dead, the dog comes, he's just trying to live his happy-go-lucky life and get over it. They done killed the dog and kidnapped the car. Go.
There you go.
I don't like anything that comes after that. I'm already in, because I love John Wick. I'm already attached to this character.
The character.
That's what it is. So if they did another, because I'm worried that even if they do a prequel, am I going to like whoever they get to play John Wick? Because that's not John Wick. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Jason Bourne,
I can watch him be placed in the most ridiculous of circumstances, like
Did you see The Continental?
I didn't.
Oh, then watch.
I don't have Paramount. I told you I'm not paying for another streaming service.
No, fair.
Well, cancel one of the other ones and get.
Well, the only reason I ask is because
get the trial and commit.
I absolutely.
I feel like they could go into that world without involving John Wick, like the Continental and the Ballerina. Yeah. I'm very interested to see more of that world, but I didn't necessarily need to see more of that world through John Wick, because this is about John Wick in his journey.
And I get that. And when I presented Baba Yaga, that was just my one-off sales pitch.
Honestly, that's a good idea, because I want to see it, just like I wanted to see him kill 3 men in the bar with the pencil. I wanted to see
and
that.
So it's like, okay, and so even with John Wick, it still comes down to. I think there's a balance.
I just had to say, "Wake up, Teresa."
I'm gonna mute your mic.
Yeah, because look, listen, it's 10:30. Y'all know.
Get your hands up. Get your hands up. Sit up straight. Sit up straight.
I'm awake. I am fully alert.
I gotta make sure. She went to a 5-day party. People, I'm sorry. This is live.
And was sick as a dog.
Reminding her that she went.
I can only imagine. Right.
How much wild she did that she had to get reminded.
That sick ain't right. It's not right.
3 days worth of wild shit. You only got 3 days worth of wild shit, Teresa. After 3 days,
I forgot to take my medicine. Y'all carry on.
See what I'm saying? All right, grown as geeks. Welcome to the show, people. I hope you're over 30 if you're here.
It appears that character-driven stories
you gotta pay for
outweigh character-driven stories outweigh the plot-driven stories. What are some of the other things that are grinding our gears? So, and before you do that, hold on. Let me mute RG real quick, just ahead of time. Boom, there we go. So, Brandy, you were saying you got something that's grinding your gears.
Yes, my gears are. Ice Spice grinds my gears. That and performative outrage. Those are two different things, but they're kind of linked in the scenario that I abhor mediocrity in any shape, form, or fashion. I abhor people being praised for mediocrity. And when you have songs where they call me Miss Poopy because I'm the shit. Why are we doing this? Why is this a thing? Why is this person famous? Why does this person have more money than me? Why? Everything about her is mediocre. And this is not me hating just because like she's light skinned, because I think Lotto is very beautiful and much more talented.
Right.
This girl, she can't sing, she can't rap, she can't dance, she doesn't know how to perform, she has a terrible personality, she's not that attractive, she does have ass, I will give her that, but that can be found. I don't understand, and her people that love her are so rude and passionate, and I'm just like, is it because I'm old? Am I just old and I don't get it? Because that very well could be the case, and I'm willing to admit that. But she is just the worst example. Like people be like Sexy Red, and I don't like Sexy Red, but at least Sexy Red has a personality. It might be ratchet and nasty and dirty, but
you're making it worse. Can you please stop saying names in our podcast? Don't give him no.
She's a blank slate. She has no. There's nothing to her outside of the superficial, which I don't find that impressive. Also performative outrage, because the same people mad at James Earl Jones are crying on the internet about Lil Wayne not being able to perform in the Super Bowl. So miss me with your performative outrage. And when y'all decide to be upset about something and when you decide not to. So those are my two.
Two good ones. Good ones. I'm gonna.
Okay, those octaves went down. On that octave went down.
You don't understand the things that I've been called over the last day about James Earl Jones.
I'm gonna turn the floor over to Jeff because I think he may share the same sentiment. When you said maybe you're just old or maybe she's just bad, he said both, and I'm gonna agree that there's a little bit of both in there. Because actually, I'm going to take the floor first. No, hold on.
Hold on. Call me old?
Hold on. You said maybe I'm. I did not. You know what? You're grown. That's what you are. You're grown. Let me clarify that. You said maybe you're old, and I said a little bit of both. I didn't say that that's what.
No, I definitely am too old for Ice Spice. I get that. Trust me.
I do think that when we look at the trend in music, we kind of, if anybody recall, well, not anybody, but for those watching and us here as well, we look at the way social media has changed over the years. I remember whenever I would have to post a status on Facebook, it said Sam Morgan is, and then I would just type in the follow-up to it. Now it's just, here's my page, and whenever I post, I have to type the whole thing. And it's no longer an expression of my thoughts or feelings. It's whatever I choose to put in. We've migrated from MySpace to Facebook, and now there's TikTok, and there's all these various social medias, whether you're on X or Instagram or, Twitch, Twitter, whatever, wherever you are, whatever you're on, there's different ways, and it's consumed differently by different generations. My kids tease me all the time because I'm primarily on Facebook. I have an Instagram. I'm not on my Instagram that much. I go to my Instagram sometimes. I have to make it a point to go. I have to remember that I have that and utilize that. I just kind of scroll on X. It's not even called Twitter anymore, but I just kind of scroll on X, and occasionally something catches my attention and I will repost or like. I have very few original posts on X. It's not a platform that it's problematic for me. I ruined all of my algorithms, so I try not to spend too much time on X. And
you argued with too many people on the wrong post.
Nah,
so
no,
now
that ain't
what
no,
happens?
that ain't
Comes
what
up.
that's not the problem.
That ain't it. Right.
Okay,
That ain't
look,
it.
this is good.
That
Look,
ain't it.
He a
Gag
fan.
After Dark.
He a fan on Twitter.
My algorithm is messed up. I'm gonna just say that.
Mm-hmm.
My bad.
And so,
grown as
A little of the old hey.
right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey,
is it?
You
should be
a fan. He a fan.
now. You should be in bed now.
I'm just saying, like, look. Notice what I was like, oh, it's on Twitter. Yeah, okay. You know what? Let's close that because I don't know what the hell.
Bro, I was trying to go the nice way. You do understand?
Yeah, let's just close that.
You
I don't know what's gonna come up.
You should have just agreed.
But you know, I have kids who are of age. You know what I'm saying? A 23-year-old, two 26-year-olds, and I look at the way they consume different forms of media. And you know, my daughter is a fan of JT, and I won't say she's a super fan, but she's a big fan. Like she went to the concert we had here in Atlanta recently. She bought the CD when it dropped, and I'm like, who buys CDs anymore? But my daughter
she's
wanted
a fan.
Like she wanted to, and literally wanted to show her support, and that was the purpose, to show her actual support, not just stream it because daddy pays for the the premium Spotify and whatnot, so she could just stream, but she wanted to buy the CDs. She gets the merch and that sort of thing. She goes to the concert. My boys just went to the Childish Gambino concert. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
And
I would have went to that. Nice.
We were literally, like, the wife and I were literally talking, because I'm a Childish Gambino fan. You know what I'm saying? And so we were talking about going, and it was just like, it'll be weird because I want to get better seats than y'all, and then y'all be mad because I get y'all the same seats.
You wasn't going to coordinate that situation?
I mean, like, hey, look, y'all ain't pay what I pay, so you know, you got a job, you got money.
Personal.
Right.
This is a dad who ate a lot of food in the car.
Nah, you young, get up.
So, but no, look, in fairness, they bought their own tickets, and looking at it, they had good seats, so they would have been fine. And one kid actually had his seats upgraded by security, so they would have been cool.
Nice. Okay.
And my daughter, you know, they've learned to, like, you work hard for what you do, enjoy your time on this planet. You know what I'm saying? You want to go to the concert, get the good seats so you can see the show. It's a memory. It'll stick with you. Don't pay for the nosebleeds just to go spend the money, enjoy the concert. Anyway, looking at the way she consumes media, like the MTV, the Video Music Awards came on tonight.
Absolutely.
And I was like, they still have that? Like, do they even have videos now? Because it's like every time I've seen a video, it's been on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's like, how is this still sponsored by MTV? It feels like it should be the YouTube Video Music Awards.
Maybe you just said some shit. There you go. Sponsor us, YouTube.
But it's
like, just gave you an idea.
YouTube.
All right, but, YouTube. If you want to buy the VMA IP from Viacom, I'm sure they'll put a Paramount at this point. I'm sure they'll put a nice number in front
Vivo.
of you. You could decide.
They own Vivo. They could do a Vivo Music Awards.
I mean, it would make more sense because I can't remember the last time MTV was about music, but that's neither here.
I'm sorry.
That's a whole other conversation.
Gave away money right there.
Either way, it's just, you know, when I'm looking at it, like she was watching the Video Music Awards, and in preparation for it, she was like, "Oh, I have to watch this video. I have to watch that." And she literally sat and watched like 20 music videos, so she would be familiar with the songs in the categories, so that she could make an informed decision as to whether or not they deserve said award. And it's amazing. And so it's because of things like that where your people like Ice Spice, that's where their popularity comes from. It doesn't come from the album sales. A lot of that comes from the exposure available through social media. And it is viral clips You know what I'm saying? It's this clip that got XYZ views because you don't see the whole. Ain't nobody posting the whole concert. You know what I'm saying? Like it's illegal to redo that. You know what I'm saying? You can't even post. Somebody will take it down, but you see a clip from said concert, and because
when
you saw that
she's
clip,
walking forward, and we could get a clear look
now
at her ass.
Now that next concert may
or
sell a few
bent
more
over and twerking. That seems
there you
to
go.
be.
That's the only reason we're watching it.
I remember when YouTube,
And
I
even
could
then,
go to
it's not
YouTube.
even
I
good
could type in,
twerking. At least Meg the Stallion put some
All right, Brandy,
energy into it.
Brandy, I'm
but
gonna
see, that's a
disagree with you
whole.
on this one. It is
And you know what?
fantastic twerking.
Who?
No, no,
And
no.
all of us,
Never mind. I'm
Ice
not even
Spice
gonna
is
engage in this thing.
spectacular. I don't
This
get
is me
you.
No,
looking
she's
at
not. No,
artistry
she's not.
instead of
No, she's
Really?
slapping
not.
cheeks. You
Really?
are
I'm from
absolutely
Decatur,
right.
Georgia, big dog. You gotta do way more than what
No.
she
All
doing
right,
to
You're
impress
absolutely
me.
right.
okay, stop. We're not going to compare her to
No, that's
Georgia.
not
Yes,
me.
I am.
That's not on me to judge.
I'm
You are
not going
right.
to compare her to Georgia.
Yawn.
You're right.
I can't. All right.
Yawn.
Go ahead, Sam. I'm sorry. I'm out of this one. I'm not going to win this one.
So when you talk about the difference in talent, I absolutely 100% agree with you. As far as there are artists, there are female artists, and I don't even want to categorize it as like female rappers, but there are artists who are able to put out quality content that they have the lyricism, they have the flow, they can rap.
Shout out Glorilla. I actually like you.
And
I really like Glow too.
You know, and it's like and honestly, I like Lotto. And of course, I love Meg because I feel like her flow is just killing it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care who. I don't get into the who does the writing. You know what? It's about the performance. And when I see Meg up there performing, I don't care who wrote the song. If she wrote it, that is fantastic, and it just adds to it. I don't care who wrote Lotto's song, Glorilla song.
You shouldn't care because
song.
if we're gonna care now, we need to go back and care about some of these other dudes that have been sharing bars like the bunk on the bottom of a 2-man cell, like my man Kendrick say.
Look,
Biggest
I
rapper
hated
in the world right now,
on
the
them
biggest
old school
streaming
niggas
words.
too. So
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
but it's
I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad.
It's
General public. Go ahead.
I think I agree with what Brandy. I agree with what you said. She is largely uninteresting. She is the vanilla wafer of rappers, where you really not gonna sit down and eat a box of vanilla wafers by themselves, but in the banana pudding, or they got them cakes, or they use it for cake decor. You know what I'm saying? So her being the thing you said was important. She's a blank canvas versus the Megs, the Cardis, all the other rappers who seem even like somebody like a Rhapsody. Even like I'm not naming them. I'm not naming based on merit. I'm naming like people who are unique characters in the rap
the Doechis, the Rico Nasty. Like there's people
right. She fits into that ratchet. The
problem with that situation when in regards to somebody like Ice Spice, who I have seen and heard about via the internet. I've never heard a song. I don't go out of my way to like seek her out, but her music never enters. And I'm somebody who listens to a lot of music. Her music never enters my musical algorithm, my musical space. Her videos never pop up in my YouTube algorithm, although I'm sure that's probably going to change after today's conversation. But nothing about her musically has ever penetrated my like musical algorithm. And so she has to be a blank canvas until something pops off personality wise. Like they did the little Orphan Annie, ratchet little Orphan Annie thing for a long time. They gave her the butt. Now they're taking the butt away. They're doing all this stuff. They're trying to change it up because it hasn't worked thus far. If we're keeping it a buck,
she has not popped Taylor
off. Like she has not popped off musically yet. And this is just the record company trying to recoup their very sizable investment that they put in her, because
her album's so
she is a tool to be used by the industry. She's not an artist. So
she's a broken tool. She's one of those hammers that got the little ball peen at both ends. that you can't really use for
she's
shit.
a tool. Well, she's a tool that they have not found the correct purpose for her yet. Maybe they will. Maybe
I
they
know
won't.
that people will be like, she's just a hater.
I just
She's
think,
just
what
this,
is
that,
the
and the
purpose?
third. And it's like, I'm not a hater. I'm not hating on the girl's success. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I
think in a time,
I just don't get it.
I think in a time when I look at the landscape of like women music artists that are impacting like me and what who are impacting like kind of even the young people, like there's an authenticity I think that comes with all of them, even with the Sexy Reds. Like I went to school in St. Louis.
Exactly.
That's
I don't
real
girls
shit.
like that.
You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
And look, I
And
love
like
Suki Hana's
that's
personality.
right, but
And
that's
she's a
like that's
Delaware
not
chick.
nothing. But that's not nothing. No, that's not nothing. No
much about
marketing
her except
team
she
from
be
a
around
record
Dr.
label
Umar
came
all the
in
time.
and was like, this is what we're gonna do. This is the look, this is the style, this is the lingo, this is the jargon. And it's like that's what they do for pop stars, and that's what they want Ice Spice to be. They want her to be a pop rap star.
Right.
And
but I mean, look at her. Look at what made her famous, though.
But I'm saying that stuff is not resonating with even that audience, because even the Sexy Red has authenticity to her. Cardi has authenticity to her.
No,
like
but
the
I think
scissors,
Ice Spice is a pretty Bronx chick. Like she did that drop it down thing, and that's what made her famous.
All right, so let me get. I've got a special guest here. I'm not going to bring her on camera. She doesn't want to be on camera.
Okay,
just okay. Right there's good. Okay, my daughter is right here, and I asked her, but that's what you saw me do in a moment. I was like, "What makes Ice Spice popular?" That was the only question I presented.
Yes.
What makes Ice Spice popular? And
honey.
she gave me some information here, and I'm going to let her try to relay that to me. So this is my daughter Samira. Everybody say hello. Well,
hello.
Headphones.
Hello.
But let me see. I will move it over here. So if you all say anything, she can respond and answer those. I did kind of put her on the spot. This was completely unexpected. So
we need input, though.
But yes, we were having a discussion. And so I'm saying, what makes Ice Spice popular? And what were the things you would listen here? You said she's from the Bronx, and like what else?
Yeah, she's from like New York. She's from the Bronx. So like that's definitely one thing that stands out, you know, like the type of music she does like drill, a lot more drill type of music. Other things I'll say, like she was born like January 1st, so like 2000. So like her new album is called Y2K. So like a lot of Gen Z is like really into like that, into like when she dropped her song with Pink Pantheress, you know, that was a pretty big collab she did. That was all over. She won Best New Artist last year at the VMA Awards. I don't think she attended this year. I didn't see her in any of the pre-show or during the show at all. But like I will say last year it was really big for her because she collabed with Nicki Minaj a lot. For like the Barbie movie, you know, the soundtrack. So that was like, yeah.
That was big. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I just say this? Can I say this real quick? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Can I girl dad moment? Can I quick girl dad moment? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is girl dad moment because all my girls are
girl dad
like fully
moment.
grown. Leave me
moment.
alone because my girls are all big and mean. They were all big and mean. I'm a grandpa now. Listening to you is spectacular. Please, like, continue that. I just go ahead, Jeff. That was it right there.
All
It was literally that.
I know how
I love it. Yeah.
My daughter. But go ahead, Jeff.
This is my question, because as I, you know, I'm a big music fan. I know I'm not one of these people that's like, I hate all the new music. I listen to new stuff.
Man.
I listen to stuff from like younger artists. My question about Ice Spice is, from your perspective as a young person, why do you think that her music has not reached people like my age? I'm almost 40, like who listen to, you know, I listen to Lotto, I listen to Doechii.
Yeah.
I mean, I listen to Summer Walker, but Ice Spice has never like
came up in your discography. You're right.
Yeah.
No, that's valid though. Honestly, that's valid if she don't come up. Like, I don't think like really anybody past us is kind of paying attention to Ice Spice really. But I mean, so I like that makes sense if that really doesn't translate over, because like I said, like she really wasn't at the VMAs this year. Granted, she won Best New Artist last year, but yeah, the album, what it was named and what it was based off of, marketing reasons versus like the actual music is two different things. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, like, a lot of people can see that. Like, granted, now it's just more about Stan Wars and who can be like,
right.
Everything I know about.
Do you feel like she lacks authenticity?
Hold on, let me.
I didn't mean to turn into journalist. Go ahead, Brandy.
No, I was just saying that everything I know about Ice Spice, I know about Ice Spice from gossip blogs. Like, it's not about her music; it's about who she's dating, who she's beefing with. It's never like the music.
Can you hear them? Anything?
Good. Jeff has a question in queue. I'm waiting for my question to be asked after Jeff's question. So
I can't even.
Welcome to the live show, folks. If you're still here with us, go ahead, Jeff. Can you please rephrase your question so the young lady can answer the question?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like a lot of the younger artists that I see people gravitating to have a level of authenticity in their music and in their writing.
Hold on, we lost the monitor. 1 second.
Oh, never mind. Technical difficulties.
Can you hear me, young lady? Can you hear me?
Oh my gosh.
Can she hear me? I say, young lady, what do you want me to do? I'm fucking old, dog.
Pull out the Werther's original.
Dude, I love what was the breadsticks? Come on, Teresa, help me out. What was that? Come on, because we in the generation together. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying, the breadsticks. What was the ones that was wrapped in the breadsticks? They called them breadsticks, but they were cookies. They were cookies. What was something? Welcome, folks.
Y'all had weird snacks up north.
Cashmere. No, it is not weird. Is she still there?
We ain't had them down there.
Okay, this is the question I have for her. Is Ice Spice in her playlist?
Yeah. I rock with it. I would have went to the concert for real. I would have went to the concert. She brought out Yachty. Like, that was kind of cool. Like, she collabed with Gunna, Travis Scott. They're all on the album. So I mean, like,
I got you. Follow-up question: have you spent any money on any Ice Spice material?
I think Ice Spice. Like, there's so many like artists out there. I can't say I've spent anything. Like, she did the digital signing for her CD though, but it was like a digital sign. So
but no money. But you never
JT
cash apped her anything like that. No money.
I'll say so.
Okay, so you ain't break bread. You ain't break bread with Ice Spice. I got you.
I'm all right.
All good.
And this is my issue. This is my thing. Spice. JT is way better than Ice Spice.
Right, like, but the thing.
But I mean, and that's what she was just saying. She said all the girls in their own lane, and I would say too.
But I can.
If you once you get into the comparison and the hierarchy, I think we can all agree that everybody's not on the same level, and that's across the board. Because if we talk
talent wise,
and that's fair. Like, everybody's not on the same level in all genres. You know what I'm saying? Even with like your pop artists, you have some people that are not up to like doing what Janet Jackson does on any album. You know what I'm saying? Not just over the course of years and the status she's achieved, but you take any one of those albums and compare to what some of these people are putting out, they're not on that same level. So the talent part of it is always going to be a little bit different. I think, Jeff, that's also what you were kind of speaking on a moment ago when I was saying, like, I don't care who does the writing, because I know like sometimes one person wrote this song And then other times, a couple of people wrote this song. That part of it, when I hear that song,
is a jam.
Right. When I hear that song, I associate it to that person, and I like that.
And it's people who can write but can't perform and they can't get out of the song what needs to be got out of it. And hip hop is not above that either. And
like Saweetie. I love Saweetie, but that baby cannot perform.
I don't want to hear you what Saweetie got to write. Now you can rap
Absolutely.
I'm not interested in Saweetie's thoughts.
I don't know. Like number one on rhythm music. I don't know if that's right. But she did just go number one on rhythmic music.
Saweetie, she just topped the chart. She's number one in the category.
She got jams.
Yeah, she has good
I be riding around listening to Best Friend by myself.
She said herself she's not a good performer. Like she was going to a boot camp to learn how to perform. So that's not me hating. She knows herself that she
right. And when people and a lot of times I think, people it's just good business to focus on what you are good at.
Right. And I think the times are different. Like in 1995, Saweetie would have been on like Uptown Records or some shit like that, learning how to be an artist, performing smaller stages on the college circuit. The internet has created like it pushes a lot of people to the stage before they're ready to be on that stage. And it's like, you fine, you got all this going on and you connected and you moving and you shaking and you viral. But then when the music comes out, you just don't have the experience. You don't have the hours logged to like rock a crowd. Like I've been to I've seen famous people who had big songs but clearly don't perform a lot get on stages and just like have bad nights because these are the things that these are the kinks that no longer get worked out in people's repertoire because the proving ground is way, way different from music now. Now it's like you got to come in with millions of followers, hundreds of thousands of millions of engagement, and then they'll listen to your music if you fit those parameters. It's never like, here's this person with this talent, let us build you.
People can do all of those things and still it just don't. Like, look at Kehlani. Kehlani should have a career by now. She consistently drops good singles. She's a pretty girl. She can dance. She's talented. Like, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't go anywhere.
I'm gonna give my daughter a whole microphone. She got so much information over here. She said Kehlani's like we in her wheelhouse right now. So
for real, because I'm like, why don't people buy her music?
Kehlani is on tour right now. What were you saying?
Yeah, she's on tour with girl group Flow. So this girl group, they're definitely trying to push them, new Destiny Child's kind of situation. And then rapper Anicia.
Okay.
So she has a pretty dope hit that's out too with a lot of featuring. So they're on tour right now. Kehlani's tour just started. So
just put out her album last week.
Sweetie.
Now, what were you saying a moment ago?
Well, is what I'm saying. Like she put her album. A lot of these artists lately have been dropping albums and they're not doing well. And it's like, why?
According to what is the metric? What is the baseline for that metric?
The metric.
But I mean,
what's the baseline, Brandon?
Like, they were like Ice Spice's album the first week sold like 22,000 copies. That's not no numbers.
Digital.
Like,
right, but albums, how bad is that compared to
not numbers? Like when you look at their following, when you look at their social media presence, when you look at the strength of the fans and how hard they get, like these are artists who are pushed so hard that they have tours, but their albums aren't selling.
True, but I guess the issue for me is always
like, why is
no. I agree. I guess the issue for me is that I'm still finding it difficult to translate what I used to think doing good, what a good first week was, right? So buying CDs and buying CDs and tapes. Let's take it to that point, right? Where if you have a first week, you have a single, you come out, you sell a couple of hundred, you sell 100,000 plus first week.
Right.
You know, the average platinum artist, that's how they did. And nowadays, these digital sales, if you do 50 or 60, that is very good. Like that is
that depends on
good.
That depends on the investment. If you're an independent artist and you put all your own bread up and your single came out and you did 50,000 on DSP, like you did good because you recouping all the money. But if the label has paid for the album, which means they pay for all the production, all the studio time, they're paying the marketing budget,
all of that.
They're paying for your wardrobe. We're getting all the sponsorship deals like handled through you, lawyers, all this other stuff that's going into pushing this album out. Like the ROI is not matching what the label is expecting based on the investment. A lot of
how much is Drake doing the first week?
Millions.
Right now? Or like at his height.
I'm just saying, Drake,
Drake
like
would
his
put
first
something
week,
out, his first week album sales would be in the hundreds of thousands.
It would be in the hundreds of thousands.
It's not millions.
But I'm just saying it's not millions. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're doing a percentage in that example you're giving, where it's independent type situation, you're getting the bulk of those streams. And you're doing an eighth of what he's doing. He's doing 400,000, right? But you're doing 50,000. And I guess I have to agree with the point of how much the label is putting into you, right? Ice Spice potentially is probably getting a lot putting into it, right? They're putting a lot of money into her. You know,
has been behind her, like
you know what I'm saying.
So.
The machine, right? They got her all these collabs, all these cosigns. They got her doing all of that. And that, I mean, when she had those collabs and cosigns, she did those numbers. But the minute she went up against those collabs, right? So the reason why your shit is big is you got Nicki Minaj, and then you turn around and you talk greasy about Nicki Minaj. And now what happens comes after that? Don't do no well because you had that borrowed, that borrowed credibility. You know what I'm saying? She ain't legitimate. You got it because you got a cosign. You ain't that good. You got to.
Well, I think that's where she was talking about the collabs when you were asking like what's part of what makes her popping and whatnot.
Right, she did.
Right,
she
exactly. And that's everything she
mentioned.
That's everything she mentioned.
That's what made her hot
all
last
those,
year.
It's the cosign.
Barbie song, all of that made her hot last year. But that's what I'm saying. She got all of this momentum, and then she dropped her album.
Yeah. Well, you talked shit about the reason why you had the momentum.
You think you think it's the Nicki Minaj thing? So you're saying a lot of her stands were barbs.
Oh yes.
And once she talked bad about Nicki Minaj, that was I see what you're saying. Okay.
But I say this, even when she was up under Nicki, like the songs wasn't like it wasn't like
stand culture is serious.
It wasn't, but they moved the units,
that
right?
makes sense.
They moved the units.
Yeah, I mean, I think going back to what Brandy was saying about like Kehlani and other small and going just the conversation about like smaller artists not doing as well. First week sales, I think is just going to be like, I think maybe we need to readjust the expectations we have on that metric versus what it was when we was growing up. Because when we was growing up, it was, I got to get the Sam Goody or whatever, wherever I'm buying. Because I need this CD. Because everybody on the school bus, everybody at lunch tomorrow is going to be talking about this album.
Or I need that tape.
I need it, or something. Thanks. You know what I'm saying?
I got to have it. Absolutely.
And now it's not really like that. It's like there's so much music coming at all times that you can't keep up. So either you're trying to keep up and you just listening and discarding, or you just like me, where it's like, I'll listen to it when I get to it. There's very few things that make me feel like I got to listen to this as soon as it come out. Like the Doechii album, I listened to that as soon as it came out. I've still been meaning to get around to the LL album. It's on my list for tomorrow. Kehlani will probably be day after that. But there's not a lot where I'm like, I got to listen to this right now because there's none of those conversations really happening around
Has it
music,
ever been a lot, Jeff?
I don't.
Has it ever been a lot for you? A lot that Has there ever been a lot of releases that you felt like you had to listen to?
Yeah, maybe not all on the same day, but also
no, I'm
with the
just
way
saying
that
during the same period. Like, let's say during the same 3-month period.
No,
have you ever felt like during a 3-month period there were at least like 4 albums you had to listen to?
Yeah, of course. But it's also like I'm saying, the way that I sit with music, I'm an album person. So like I don't even comment on the album unless I've listened to it front to back 3 times. So there's a lot of albums I've listened to once, never gone back, never talked about them. But like if I'm into it, I'll get stuck on it. And so it takes me like I don't want to feel like I gotta stop listening to something I want to listen to because there's something I have to listen to. It's not fair to that project because I'm gonna just be thinking about the music I really want to be listening to. But I feel like really it's like, where are the spaces for people to talk about Kehlani's album? I heard Joe Budden mention it on his podcast. And he said he liked it, or I think he said he liked it, or he wanted to listen to it, or whatever. But like, hip hop has the like conversation, the podcast space. It's not spaces where people get on and it's like, yo, let's talk about Kehlani's album. Let's talk about these love songs we really like. I mean, you might have an R&B Money podcast where they bring in R&B artists. There's a few R&B like podcasts out there, but it's like, dudes is not going to be real about like.
She got a book. She got a book. You want to show with the Breakfast Club.
You would be eager for that podcast?
Yes, I would listen to people talk about R&B because it's my favorite genre of music.
Brandy, you would be eager for that podcast?
For what?
I would do that podcast if I felt like people really cared what I had to say about it. But it's like,
the R&B music.
I have unlimited podcast nights.
Look, we are moments away from creating so many spinoff shows.
I like R&B
fans. Like, we got like 10 shows lined up every other week, and every time we get together and talk collectively, how many new shows do we create? Because we got so much to talk about and so much to say, and it's like, damn, okay, so now we got an R&B special highlight episode to do. And
we are grown ass.
You know what I'm saying? And then we gonna do our medical procedurals episode, and you know what I'm saying?
And break down how cool forensic, like true crime forensic science stuff is so cool.
Right.
All right, well, Brandy got a show to host, so there we go.
Well, that'll be the special guest stars from Murder She Wrote.
Teresa the one diagnosing people.
But no, I mean, like, honestly, it's this kind of conversation. It's these kind of moments where the opportunity comes up and we don't shy away from it, and we do give the airtime where it needs to be given, and we have the conversation. So don't be like, no, we're not giving Ice Spice no airtime. No, we gonna talk about it.
I didn't mean to bring
I just don't want you to say her name.
That's just a
She's
thing
like
that has been
it's
permeating my space for the last 4 weeks. And I'm just like, why is everything about this girl and her talking slick to people and being this, that, and the third? Like, I'm over it.
Absolutely. Because you know what? But I think it's because it's a day and age of social media. And this I know I have a tendency to be long-winded. I'm gonna cut right to the chase. You can drive engagement, and as long as you can drive engagement and people will click to see what the hell, that will keep you up.
There you go.
What was the back to Ray J? Wait. We'll go all the way back to Ray J. Read between the lines. You know what I'm saying? We still got seasons of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I'm just saying.
There's only one reason we know about it.
Back in the day, we didn't have social media to give you that direct access, that direct connect, that immediate link. You know what I'm saying? And now, I mean, hell, we sitting here doing our own show. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I've always had opinions. Now I have a space to put my opinions. And thank you to those of you who actually want to hear what the hell we got to say. I appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow us. You know what I'm saying?
I like it. That's right. Thank you. Thank you.
If y'all love her, I'm not hating on her. Okay. Bless the child. She's doing better in life than I am. And she's
and in fairness, I don't
got
feel
a better
like
body than I ever had. So please do not think that I'm hating on that girl.
No. You came with the genuine question, and that is not the same as hating, because you just came in and be like, man, she sucks and she don't deserve all of this, and blah blah blah. That's it. You was like, what makes her popular? Maybe it's me. Maybe it's it. You had a genuine question, and we've tried to. I mean, hell, we
and
might be
all
too
the
old to
stuff,
dissect
and all the
No,
stuff
which is
Sam
why I
Daughter.
was like, hold on.
I am
She
old,
popular because she
and I don't
cute.
move the way
Let
with
me
the
get
culture the way
somebody
that
Popular
the
who has
culture
more
because
moves.
she
insight.
cute. Can I
Because I
just be
don't
real
damn know.
about this shit? She
Exactly.
popular
Okay.
because she cute.
The era
Not
Here
of
is
the
the
social
thing.
media superstar is not my era. Like this
So
isn't
Yeah,
my
exactly. But she
thing.
cute. It
I
don't
get it.
change
okay.
the fact
So
that
to that
if
I
you
got like
have that type of look, she is
Cash.
pale as
Hold
shit.
on. Hold on.
Okay.
Wait. So let me say this, and I
Damn,
will
I'm
say
not
this
leaving that off on she's pale as shit.
carefully
This is
kind of
as
did
I
that.
can. I have not watched an Ice Spice video.
Right.
I watched them all.
On mute.
So let me just say, she not cute enough.
Thank you.
I have
not
seen
everybody cup
every
of
Meg video.
Sorry.
She not
It's very,
everybody
that's
cup
a
of
very
tea.
subjective statement.
And it is. And
She's not every
there's
and but music is subjective. Artistry is subjective.
agreed.
Standness is subjective. I
Agreed.
think that the answers that Sam's daughter gave us illustrate why
Makes sense.
we
Right.
are not Ice Spice fans. Like but also we're not her target demo. But I would
Thank
also
you.
say
And
I'm
that's
not
it does
supposed to
not
be her fan.
seem like
That's
it
what
does
I'm
not
saying.
seem like she's hitting her target demo as hard as the record labels want her to be either, because there are other artists who are in that target demo who I hear
Thank
like
you.
I know Get It Sexy. I don't know no Ice Spice lines, nothing. Like
I just know the one.
I know. Well, there you go. You the shit.
I see her. She look like a walking
Fart,
bacon,
man.
egg, and
Something
cheese.
fart. Shit fart.
Not for me.
She's
And
terrible,
that's cool.
dog.
That's not for me.
She's terrible. She's
And
terrible.
Lotto was
As a
sitting there.
rapper, I'm
But
putting
there's a
it.
lot
This
of
is
Cause
people.
the
controversy.
opinions of Kashmir the Pro, the
Her-
Urban Dalai Lama. I am only reflecting how I feel. This does not reflect how my
Thoughts and
fellow geeks
opinions
feel
expressed
about
on
you.
Grown Up Geeks Below. No, we have a whole
There you
But I
go.
just
disclaimer at the
want
beginning
to.
of the
She's
show.
whack to me. You whack to
But here's
me.
the thing.
You just
Here's the
cute
thing.
as fuck. Like
She not.
she
But this
cute.
is the thing.
She cute.
Brandy did not bring up whether like her being whack has no bearing on whether she's good. Not you know what I'm
None at
saying?
all.
Like
Zero.
her being whack has
Zero.
no bearing on why she's not popping off, why we don't understand her personality.
Very
We all
true.
grew up with
Very
rappers
true.
who are not good.
Who were
We
whack.
all grew up listening
We
to
grew up
people
with
who were
rappers who
not
were
good.
whack.
Yeah.
But they might have known how to make good songs. Like,
There you go.
so you might think that this rapper is like whack because he's not lyrical. He's not a lyrical.
No,
lyrical
she's whack
bringing
because
you
she's
all the-
whack. Nope.
Wait,
nope.
wait. Let me
She's
finish
whack
what
'cause
I'm
she's whack.
saying.
That's not
Let
why.
me finish what I'm saying. Let me
All
finish
right,
what I'm
my bad,
saying.
my bad.
We grew up with rappers who were not all like super lyrical, doing it in the park, doing it after dark, right? Like everybody who we grew up on is not a battle MC
That's my
who was
dad's
forged in
era.
the hearts of Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Or the
Right.
kids who were standing on the park bench looking over into the cypher, getting inspired to go do that. That's not what everybody got in the rap game to do. And there are people who want rap to be that and only that. And that's cool.
Right.
Take your backpack to the park and y'all just rap in a circle, you and just a bunch of dudes, and that's fine.
Right.
And we won't bother
Right.
y'all while we go over
But
here where the
sometimes
girls are
have a good time.
and
Right.
dance and have a good time. And while I'm dancing, I don't need to hear lyrical miracle. I'm fine with bad boys.
Right.
You make me feel so
Right.
good.
It's catchy.
Like I'm cool with that.
Something.
You go do it in the park, do it after dark, and let me do what I do over here because there's a place.
I honestly feel like we should flash trigger warning.
I might slide by the park. I might put a hoodie and a backpack on, see what
Right.
y'all talking about in the park.
Every now and again, slip on a Tim.
But I'm not finna come over there and be like, somebody put on where the girls at. I know why the girls
What my
not
shoe
here.
wear got to do with this?
I know why the girl's not here. It's just baggy jeans and Timberland boots, untied up Timberland boots. I get it.
I don't plan to run.
But this is also a thing that has a value in our community that people appreciate that might not require the same level of technical ability. And she still has not been able to pull off that. And that can be done with a team and with backing.
Like I said,
people are writing
is
this
not
stuff
a lyrical master, but she can put together a catchy tune.
And sometimes
I have not heard anything.
Yeah, sometimes
are y'all agreeing on
social
that?
media. Sometimes no,
put
sometimes
together a catchy tune.
No, she's saying she can't.
Oh, okay.
She was saying it's fine if you're not technical, but if you can put together a catchy tune, I'll listen to it. But she hasn't.
Right, but do you agree with that? That's what I'm asking. Did you agree with that statement? I knew Brandy said that. Yeah, but do you agree with that statement?
She's not saying that Ice Spice is putting together catchy tunes.
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking.
Do I agree with what statement?
If you can put together a catchy tune, that you could be successful.
Yeah, you can get out of here.
Hold on.
Put together a catchy
tune. Brandy, did you say Brandy? Did you say Ice Spice can put together a catchy tune?
You can.
Did you say she can do that?
That one song.
No, I said even Saweetie, who I don't consider like a lyrical mastermind, can put together a catchy song.
But Ice Spice cannot do that.
I have not found a song from Ice Spice. I like the Barbie stuff was cute, but it was more about Nicki than
it's not hers. It's not hers.
So
look, the hook for Munch. Okay, I'll say this: the hook for Munch, and I don't know if that was her debut song, but that was like the only, like that is the first thing that comes to mind when I hear Ice Spice, because that was just like in my ear.
She's got a good voice. I'll give her that. She does have a good voice. It's got a sweetness to it like Foxy Brown's. She just ain't saying anything.
Okay. True.
She does have a good voice, though. It's very. I like.
She does have a good voice.
Talking about lyrics,
that's that guru shit.
You're not even a fart. Like that's Lotto. Okay, never mind. Okay, no, see,
no, that was on me. That was my comment, not to you, Sam. That was just my comment about Guru. I don't want to lose no fans because I dedicated.
You're from New York. She's from New York. I seen you got all excited about the Bronx. So is that a New York thing that we just don't know
about? Yes.
Okay. See, and my daughter's explaining to me that was between her and Lotto, and like
that was one of the first things your daughter mentions is the fact that she's from the Bronx.
Right, that's what I'm saying. The way that she raps, the things that she says, you think you the shit, you not the fart. Is that
I get that. No, understand something. It's a very rudimentary metaphor. It's just she's trying to do metaphors, right? She's trying to do similes, right? Yeah. I'm gonna say metaphor because she unlike a simile, she doesn't want to say
everybody. Everybody tried to start doing
right? Like you think you're the shit. Like think about it from this perspective. You think you're the shit.
I know random what breakdown of it is. I know what it means. I'm asking, is that a saying that they say in
No. Listen. The basic saying of you think you the shit. That's a base. Every fucking body says that. That's not a New York saying. You think you're the shit.
We're asking, is the you not even a fart part New York?
No, that is her attempt. That is her attempt to be lyrical. She's trying to make a metaphor. She's trying to make a metaphor. She's trying to understand. And when you rap, right? Generally, what bridges an idea between what bridges a slick shit between the line you say after is the difference between a simile and a metaphor.
No, hold on. They call me Miss Poopy. I wear a diaper.
There's a lot of
because you don't want to say you think you're the shit, right? You think you're the shit. You not like a fart, right?
I know what she meant.
Right.
I got it. I know what she meant. It just is such an off-brand thing to associate yourself with that I wasn't sure if this was something I was
missing.
No. We don't.
We thought it was
we're not just going to New York like you think you the fart.
There's been a couple of songs now where she's been talking about shitting and pooping and all of these
only
things.
Her.
So I'm like, why is this your brand? Why?
But no, wait.
Why?
I'm not defending.
Hold on, check it out. We got insight. Hold on, let me cut the camera.
Please, because anybody understand what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Like, Lotto just did something with Funny Marco, and they just did a YouTube video together. And I want to say they were like going through like artists who were just coming up, rapping, talking, or whatever. And there was this one girl, and it's kind of like going viral on Twitter right now from the YouTube video, a clip of it. But basically, this girl kind of comes up and does a little 1-2, and Lotto kind of compares the girl. She's like, it's kind of giving Ice Spice. Like, it's real, just simple. I'm cute, rah, and that's it. And that's kind of the clip that's kind of going around right now. So everybody's like, Lotto compared the girl to Ice Spice, like,
let's call her basic.
Like, is that shade? Is it not shade?
Yeah, no, heavy on the shade, but it's that's where it's like, when it comes to the lyrics, when it comes to the raps, when it comes to the rhymes, when it comes to the music, two completely different.
Because I seen Lotto did a video in
Who's
her
your
hood.
favorite artist?
Like, she pulled up in her hood and did a video dissing Ice Spice and all of this. Like, but I never heard
they went back and forth for a minute with their music. Definitely album titles. Lotto's album is hot right now. Sugar Honey Iced Tea. So you the Sugar Honey Iced Tea.
Sugar Honey Iced
There it goes.
Okay, hold on. Young lady. Let's legitimize the entire portion of this conversation. Who's your top 5, young lady?
Oh my God!
I need your top 5. Yeah, I'm a New York nigga. I'm from the Bronx. I can do this.
No, I'm sorry.
Right away. Ask this question. You do not have to justify it. You do not have to justify it.
What's your top 5?
Hold on. Sam, I'm an older dad.
Very big left wing, right wing when it comes to female rap right now. Same thing with K Dot versus Drizzy. There's two sides. There's two teams. So
it's one side. Winner side, losing side.
Who's your top 5? That's all I ask. Who's your top 5?
Okay.
In no particular
order. We'll do that.
Okay,
no particular order. JT got my music for sure. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to go Megan. 5. Okay. Yeah. Rap. I could do rap. I'll probably put Nicki in there. I can't do that to her.
Okay. Do you have like a R&B artist that you want to insert into this?
That has to be another. Top
5. I'll take R&B in that too. If they sing, if that's what they do, is they sing. Then
some of these people back off.
Oh, is she gonna reach? She would have to reach.
Who was that?
Reevaluate. Sis is up there. We got Victoria Monet up there. We got who else? Coco Jones is kind of coming through.
Really?
Yes. A lot of good music.
Got a good voice.
Oh yeah. I love Tim's. Love Kaylani. Like I said, all of them are doing.
Any Alex Isley?
Lotto, like.
Who was that?
She's not old.
Alex Isley?
Alex Isley is for adults.
You know something? You need to stop, Jeff. You need to stop. That is a young lady. That's a very.
I know. That's why she don't need to be listening to Alex Isley. She need to be focused on them school books.
What about Victoria Monet?
Yeah, I said Victoria.
She listens to SZA.
Victoria's album is good. If you haven't heard her music, you're doing yourself a disservice, and I'll say that.
Who did you say? Like Monet.
Victoria. Ariana Grande.
No, she's good.
And she's a great performer. She's just a superstar, I think. And she's a writer. She's amazing.
No, she's great.
My daughter and I watched Tim's Tiny Desk the other day. Like we were talking about it. I was listening to Tim's. Were we driving that day?
I like Tim's.
Then came home and was like, "Here's the Tiny." I was okay. I'm vibing this whole thing. So
I saw Tim's.
A question about Tim's. Tim's recently had something come out that made me incredibly happy as a girl dad. She said something. What I got heard is that she was like, "Wait." Thank you. Brandy, don't throw your head back. Is that a bad thing that she said that? Can you repeat it in a way that a woman would?
It's not a bad thing, but it's a creepy thing that it is something that needs to be discussed and prized.
Can you rephrase what she said?
She said that she's saving her virginity until she gets married, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with. But what is creepy is other men prizing that. That's gross.
Yeah.
I just don't like that. Save yourself as long as you want to save yourself. I think it's an admirable thing to do. I do. But discussing it and being like, oh, I'm so glad. Why are you glad? Is it going to you?
What if more men?
I don't
What
like
if more
the obsession
men
with virginity and things of that nature. I just don't like it. I just
What
think
if more
it's
men
ignorant to
ascribe to
be
that?
this involved in other people's bodies.
I think more men should.
Well, what if more men? No, I'm asking. Would that change your? Brandy? Would that change your perspective if more men ascribe to that same philosophy that they should be waiting until they get married?
If it wins, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like you present a hypothetical, like
want to do with their bodies, and my opinion about it is irrelevant. Why should I have an opinion about what the next people do with their body? That doesn't have a damn thing to do with me. If men want to wait, that's great. Wait. If they don't, then don't. But as long as people are safe, healthy, and doing what they want to do, then it doesn't bother me, and it's none of my business. That's what.
I agree.
Understood.
I think the only thing you should really champion.
Understood.
I think the only thing you really should champion in that is that she has the freedom to do with her body what she wants to do. I think turning it into an issue of purity, even if you do try to turn the metaphor on its head with saying, what if more men did it? It still doesn't erase the historical significance that being a virgin has meant for a woman over time, and what not being a virgin has meant for a woman over time. So it's like, even if today we all as men say, you know what, we're going to do it too, it would take thousands and thousands of years of us doing that before we
would it take thousands? Would it really take thousands though?
I agree.
Why couldn't it take a couple
because the more
damage Four generations would be generations.
People waited to lose their virginity to get married back in the day, and it didn't stop people from being abusive. It didn't stop people from cheating, and it didn't stop people from divorcing.
No, I'm not arguing the merits of it. I'm not arguing the merits of it.
I don't want to.
I'm not arguing the merits of it. Yeah, that's not what I'm.
And I have had a great time on the show, and I need to go to bed, so I am going to go to bed. It has been
we are
lovely.
at the 3 hour mark.
Appreciate y'all.
We are at the 3 hour.
Always, it is a wonderful time. Bye-bye.
All right, darling. We are at the 3 hour mark. I put in our chat that we were going to wrap right at 3. We have hit our 3 hour mark. We're at 2:57. So we want to thank everybody who has actually joined us tonight. We want to thank everybody who was a part of our show. I want to thank our guests who are on tonight. Of course, we have our weekly watch group. We have Miss About to Make a Name for Herself, Teresa. Insert cool nickname, Brandy was here with us. Cashmere the Pro, the Urban Dalai Lama, and JPNT17.com. That was Jeffrey. I, of course, am your host, Elder Geek Sam. You can find us at Grown A Geeks. We encourage you to join us. Come see us. Click on the QR code there. That's going to be where you can find everything we have. It's right there by RG. We hope you've enjoyed your time tonight. Make sure you give us a like, a subscribe, and a follow so you can be everywhere we are. We thank everybody for watching, and until you see us next time, we are out of here. Peace.